Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a semi-late impromptu Hafiz TV. I'm your host Hafiz, and welcome. I do apologize that I didn't really have a lot of time to prepare for this one. I just did it because actually the chap in the chat, Cheeky Chops, he said do it, and I did it. There you go, Cheeky. Thank you for joining us, Cheeky Chops. Thank you for joining us, DEF.com. I love both of you. You guys are like awesome. First ones in the chat, as always. And we'll see who else who else comes our way. That's right. The guys are in. So, what are we doing, boys and girls? We're talking about Iran. That's right. World War III, people. World War III. Now, actually, it would be quite good to actually cover the Tucker Carlson interview with what's his name, Ted Cruz. A lot of people have been talking about the Tucker Carlson Ted Cruz interview. Tucker Carlson get heated. Okay, let's see which bit. I want to get the bit about Iran, regime change in Iran. And all that jazz. So yeah, it's getting heated, guys and girls. But the question is, will America actually, or Donald Trump, take that very, very well obvious bullet? Oh damn, this is the whole interview. That's too long. I don't need the whole interview. I just need that bit about Iran. Hold on. Okay. So they Tucker Carlson slams Ted Cruz. These are the people reviewing it. More people reviewing it. I don't actually want the review of the reviews. I just want the Iran bit. Let's see. Can we? Yeah, that's again the entire thing. Okay, we'll just have to do a shorts version of it. It is what it is. We just have to do it. Oh, for God's sake! Here we go. All right, guys. Sorry, little delay, little slowness. Community, hello. I heard something about the former leader being in exile. Could they move back and replace the current leadership in Iran? Good question. Oh, Mr. Mossad. Oh, you guys are crushing it in Iran right now. Yeah, guys, if you didn't actually press the like button tonight, I hope you don't have any pagers that you purchased back in the 90s, or even earlier than that, or sooner or recently. If you haven't hit the like button, all I'm saying to you is the Mossad is asking you to hit the like button. If you know what I mean. If you know what's good for you. See if I can get this thing medium. Okay, Mr. Mossad. Actually, I should have done a show so much sooner because there is so much we need to talk about, sir. But in the meanwhile, before we do that, I'm going to I'm going to do some sharing is caring. Let me see if I can do some sharing, so I can flip between these things fairly quickly. Let's start with Ted Cruz and his little gaff. I guess I don't know. It's some. I guess, is it a gaff? Is it what should have been? Let me see. Can we make this bigger? We can make it bigger. We can't move it though. I'm sorry. I can't actually move this damn screen. It's weird, this thing. Okay, let's do it this way. All right. Let's see Ted Cruz talk about Iran.
How many people live in Iran, by the way?
I don't know the population.
At all?
No, I don't know the population.
You don't know the population of the country you seek to topple?
How many people live in Iran?
92 million.
Okay. Yeah,
How could you not know that?
I don't sit around memorizing population tables.
Well, it's kind of relevant because you're calling for the overthrow of the government.
Why is it relevant whether it's,
because,
it's 90 million or 80 million or 100 million? Why is that relevant?
Because if you don't know anything about the country...
I didn't say I don't know anything about
Okay, what's the ethnic mix of Iran?
They are Persians and predominantly Shia. Okay.
he went there. Persians are predominantly Shia. That's not the ethnic mix. That's one of them is an ethnicity. The other one's a religion. The other one is a schism in a religion. It actually, I mean, there are Iraqis that are Shiites. There are Pakistanis that are Shiites. In fact, Shiites are all over the shop, predominantly in Iran and Iraq, southern Iraq, but still not an ethnicity. But yeah, he clearly doesn't really know much about Iran. But then again, how much? I mean, if you ask Tucker Carlson back in 2001 or 2002, what was the ethnic mix of Iraq, he wouldn't be able to tell you. I mean, these are semi-gotchas because, let's be honest, these senators, they don't even read the bills that they pass as laws in your country. You think they're gonna go do some geography and ethnic trivia knowledge about Iran, the population? So what do you think they're gonna read the CIA fact book? They ain't reading that shit. They ain't reading anything. They mostly just know how to get donors. Their job is actually how to get donors to fund their next election campaign. That is actually their job. And then it is the job of their staffers to read the bills that they're gonna vote for, and they'll just vote with the whip or whatever it is, the consensus of their particular party. So yeah, these people are useless. Apart from good at fundraising for their re-election campaign, they're very good at that.
It's not even. You don't know anything about Iran. So
okay,
actually,
I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran.
You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government.
You're the one who
don't know anything about the country.
No, you don't know anything about the country. You're the one who claims they're not trying to murder Donald Trump. You're the
I'm
one
not saying that.
who can't figure out if it was a good idea to kill General Soleimani, and you said it was bad.
You don't believe they're trying to murder Trump?
Yes.
I mean, I think it was Matt Walsh that I saw a clip of him today. He said, if Iran was actually trying to murder Donald Trump, then America 100% should go to war with Iran. If you're trying to actively assassinate the leader of the United States, or in fact any country, they should be at war with you, either a hot war or a cold war. But nevertheless, you should be at war with that country. So if America believes, big up CP, love CP, guys, check out CP reports. Awesome work on the streets. If you guys are actually genuinely going to, you genuinely believe that they want to actively assassinate the president of the United States, I don't understand why you're not at war with them. You should be at war with them. George W. Bush went to war with Saddam Hussein because he claimed that he wanted to assassinate his dad. He wanted to kill his dad. So, yeah, no. It would actually be justified. It would actually be a better justification to go to war with Iran for that than most of the other crap that these people drum up. But personally, America, go to Iran and enact regime change. I actually genuinely want regime change. I want regime change in Iran. I want you guys to help us do that regime change. I know regime change has a bit of a bad taste in your mouth because you screwed up in Iraq and Afghanistan and Syria to some extent and Lebanon Libya, sorry, for sure. Yeah, you guys made a giant shit show out of those. But I think Iran is different. I think Iran can do better. Despite my intuition telling me no, Iranians are still stupid as a box of rocks. A lot of them are, but some of them are smart. And hopefully if the crown prince goes in, and this goes to the question of one of the guys who asked me I believe, there it is, there's a comment there, community who said that I heard something about the former leader being in exile. Could they move back and replace the current leadership in Iran? No, he isn't the former leader. He is the son of the former Shah of Iran, who has never been in politics his entire life. He was a young teenager when he left Iran, and who has actually not done anything in a serious political way. I mean, he's never been, in any sort of sense, he's never been a governor or any kind of politician in America. He hasn't run for office of any sort in America. So I don't know what kind of a leader he makes. I think people have a rose-tinted view, a rose-tinted glasses view of him because he's the son of the former Shah. But if he can be a stabilizing factor to go in as an interim government in order to actually establish a fully fledged democratic republic, which is what I want. I want an American-style democratic republic with a written constitution. Not some bullshit like America, not like Britain with some verbal constitution. No, written constitution, just like the United States. In fact, I would literally take the United States Constitution and just cut and paste that shit as far as I'm concerned, because I don't think they can write anything better anyway. So I mean, maybe the Second Amendment, maybe they can put some bravados in there. No automatic weapons, no dirty bombs, no small tactical nukes. You can't own anything like that. But I still believe that you should be able to own some form of handgun in Iran or anywhere. So yeah, everything. The wholesale copy and paste of the American Constitution for the Iranians, with maybe a few amendments here and there to suit the Iranian palate, if you will. But otherwise, no. Just give me that. Give me the American Constitution. But this guy, as I said, he's not been tested. He's not been tested on any level as an actual leader or in anything way as a king. All he has is his blood claim to the previous Shah of Iran. That's all. He hasn't. Yeah, I mean, I've spoken to some Iranians on TikTok. My God, they're insane. Some of them are just insane. So, yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if Iran is as stable of a country as the people make out. That the people of Iran are just going to be able to just slip into a republic, a democratic republic, like a glove. I just don't know that, because I've been listening to some of these Iranians, and I've come to realize they're not as sharp as people think they are. But anyway, let's finish off this one.
Because you're not calling for military strikes against them in retaliation. And if you really believe that...
We are carrying out military strikes today.
You said Israel was.
Right, with our help. I said we. Israel is leading them, but we're supporting them.
Well, you're breaking news here, because the U.S. government last night denied, the National Security Council spokesman Alex Pfeiffer denied on behalf of Trump that we were acting on Israel's behalf in any offensive capacity.
No, we're not bombing them. Israel's bombing them.
Oh, this is awesome. This is absolutely awesome. Okay, listen to this slimy sack of shit politicians. You know what you're voting for. You know what they are, and you just keep on voting for them.
You just said we were.
We are supporting
Israel. High stakes. You're a senator. If you're saying the United States government is at war with Iran right now, people are listening. Okay.
You see what I mean? Did you see how he's like, well, we're not at war with them, but we're helping Israel. Well, we're not actually helping Israel, but we are kind of helping Israel. I mean, we know what kind of slimy sacks of shit you people are. We know. We'll keep on voting for your asses, though. We just keep on voting for you people. And by the way, this is 101, you know, just like, you know, politics for dummies, 101, how slimy politicians are. This is politicians across the board. You think you're in Israel, you're doing any better? You're not. You think you're in Britain, you got any better? You don't. You think in Germany, in France, Belgium, Switzerland, Canada, you think all these countries somehow are better politicians? They're not. They're not. I would wager maybe some in like Iceland. I think Iceland is doing pretty well with their politicians. I think they've got some, but then they're like a tiny country in population size. So yeah, you know, those places might be doing slightly better. But for the most part, this is your politician right here. Absolute slimy sack of shit. But yeah, okay, let's hear from Al Jazeera, because you see what I found is it's interesting how you get one set of news from like the people I follow on YouTube, conservatives mostly, and then a different set from TikTok. As far as TikTok is concerned, Israel is being demolished by Iran. Iran is absolutely owning them, and yeah, they're kind of deluded as well. But on the other hand, if you listen to conservatives on YouTube in America or even Britain, like 2CTV, Israel is totally dominating Tehran. They're dominating the skies, even though they're supposedly they've got total air superiority, and yet Iran is still manages to launch these. It still manages to launch these rockets. I mean, if you've got total air dominance, you should be shooting down these rockets in Iranian airspace before they even ever make it to Israeli airspace, and yet they're not. So I don't buy that Israel has the kind of air dominance as they claim. Maybe, you know, when it comes to planes, dogfights, whatever, but they're still allowing these rockets to fly over to Israel. So they're not taking them out before they make it to Israel. So they don't have the kind of interception and air dominance as they claim. The other thing is, if you listen to TikTok, apparently 2 Israeli planes have been shot down and they've captured at least 1 Israeli pilot. I can't confirm that. I don't know. I think this is TikTok bollocks, but that's TikTok for you. So yeah, so having said that, that's why I'm going to play a little bit of Al Jazeera, because you hear things very differently over at Al Jazeera as you would in other, you know, mainstream.
Hello, I'm Rob Atherson with Al Jazeera's continuing coverage of the Israel-Iran conflict. Coming up in the next 60 minutes.
Okay, I'm gonna have to like pause it for commentary, essentially for fair use.
The Israeli military carries out strikes in and around Tehran as Iran's foreign minister travels to Geneva for crucial talks with his European counterparts.
Geneva. I mean, the Europeans ain't gonna do nothing about this. Europeans will do nothing about this. There you go. Iranian missiles, Israel. You see, this is how Al Jazeera covers it, showing all the missile hits in Israel. Whilst when you look at people, you know, in other, I mean, admittedly, 2CTV did a pretty decent coverage of the hospital that was hit, but then that's good for Israeli propaganda because they're like, oh, look at this, they're hitting hospitals, whilst we're only targeting military locations. But then again, I don't think, I mean, given the difference in size of the countries, the fact that everything in Israel is bound to be closer together, there's a good chance that military targets are going to be nearby to civilian targets. But then again, Israel didn't have a problem hitting an apartment block where they've, you know, had intelligence that nuclear scientists were living there. But of course, it wasn't just nuclear scientists that lived in that apartment block. Civilians lived in that apartment block, but they still hit it. That didn't exactly, I noticed the news didn't exactly scream, oh, Israel hit civilian targets. No, Israel was aiming for a military target, which happened to be in a civilian building, and they still hit it. But then again, you know, Israel has been doing that in Gaza for a while. So I suppose they've already justified that for themselves, no problem. I'm just saying all this because I don't want to appear to be, I'm not biased. I don't want to be biased. I want to actually be as fair-handed as I can be. And yes, I don't think Israel is targeting civilians. Of course, I still believe that they're mostly targeting, you know, military targets. But they are willing to hit civilian targets to get to their military target if they have to. And I presume, I mean, I don't know, but I presume Iran is in a similar fashion. But of course, if you listen to American and right-wing commentary, they'll say no, Iran is absolutely targeting civilian targets. But I'm not entirely convinced.
Iran fires more missiles at southern Israel as the conflict enters a second week. The Kremlin warns the Middle East is plunging into an abyss of instability and war. And more than 50 Palestinians are killed in Gaza, many while waiting for food at distribution sites.
Yeah. I mean, this is just Al Jazeera's own propaganda on Gaza.
Since hostilities began with Israel's first attacks. Well, ahead of the talks, the Iranian foreign minister told Iranian state TV that Tehran has refused U.S. diplomatic approaches since the missile strikes began.
در شرایط حاضر و در شرایطی که
At the present time, while the Zionist entity's aggression against us continues, we don't wish to engage in dialogue with any party. The United States wants dialogue and has sent several serious messages in this regard, and we've frankly emphasized to them that it's impossible to talk about negotiations while the aggression and assault against our country continues. We're engaged in legitimate defense of our country, and this defense won't stop. There's no dialogue with Washington, which is considered a partner in these crimes. Some countries have.
There's not going to be any dialogue. I don't want them to have dialogue. Just leave. Just go. Leave the country, you cowardly sacks of shit. You siphoned enough money and wealth and power from Iran for 46 years. You freaking parasites. You absolute leeches. Just go. Just leave. Your time has come. The lease is up. The eviction notice has been served. Just go without being responsible for deaths of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Iranians. You blood-sucking leeches. Just get up and leave and let the Iranian people be. We had enough of you. I've had enough of you. I know a lot of other Iranians have had enough of you. We're done. We're done with this. Go, you fuck. I'm trying not to swear. I'm trying to. You leeches. You ticks. You parasites. You intestinal tract worms. Just leave. What am I doing?
Contacted us, made proposals and sought mediation, but we've had no contact or communication with Washington, and we'll not engage with them under the current circumstances.
Fine, don't. Then sit there and get bombed until you're ousted. Okay, one more quick one.
Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to 2CTV, your global news channel. We have some breaking news coming from Iran as the whole country is in chaos. We have news about fresh and new assassinations of the top of the IRGC, the bunker of Ayatollah Khamenei in...
Ayatollah is the new thing that 2CTV is selling. It's great, it's great. You should actually make t-shirts out of that. Ayatollah, leave now. Yeah, I'm interrupting for commentary purposes.
Arizona has been hit. There's absolute chaos over there. Of course, there's a lot of rumors and speculations on social media saying, oh, he's dead or whatever. We will wait because we might get the confirmation of his well-being any moment. That there is unconfirmed reports about his elimination, but don't listen to social media. We don't have any of that confirmed. But the Americans are also giving out new briefings from the presidents in the White House that he is now ready because they believe if Khamenei is assassinated, that the rest of the IRGC are going to go nuclear, so you're going to have to hit forward. It's all kicking off. And we have a speech, the latest video from the Crown Prince of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, the leader of the opposition, who is the only leader and figure popular inside the country. And he's obviously talking about confirming the defections from the army and the government officials of the Islamic Republic to his camp. Let me give you guys all the updates. We have a number of videos to go through, especially from Lavizon, that's been hit massively. Emergency services are everywhere, all over the place. We're also now at 1,062,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. If you want to get more out of this channel and support our work at former YouTube's video. Earlier on, we finally got the video just about half an hour ago, but this is actually from a few hours ago. The internet has been absolutely chaotic in Iran, getting videos out.
Yeah, they've basically shut down the internet most of the time now, so it's really hard to get independent people to send their stuff out.
It's been difficult, but assassination in broad daylight in the capital. We are still waiting for the confirmation of the identity of this person. Let's go to the video.
I just want to say, Mr. Mossad, you guys, I mean, your work is excellent. It is prolific. I mean, I can't deny the Mossad. I mean, they are the stuff they make James Bond movies out of. You guys are unbelievable. The kind of infiltration. You know, I heard about this infiltration that they had. They had a guy from the Mossad elevated so high in the rankings in the Iranian official sort of, the Iranian system, in which the guy who was in charge of finding out Mossad agents inside Iran was himself a Mossad agent. So they put a guy in charge who he'd been sort of, he'd been promoted so high up inside the ranks of the Iranian regime that he was put in charge of finding out the Mossad agents embedded in the Iranian regime. I mean, you just can't make that stuff up. I mean, that's some insane, genius, long-term shit. I mean, this is why a lot of people, they think this war has just started. This war has been in play for Israel for, I would imagine, the same time as they did the pagers for Hezbollah. I don't see any of this as like, oh, we have to do this now or whatever. I think Israel has been planning this for a best part of 10 years. And that, on the other hand, makes me actually question October 7th even more, because October 7th has been the critical catalyst for all of this. Just like the Project for New America History that said in order for America to meet some of its foreign objectives, they need to have a Pearl Harbor event so that they can rally the support of the people behind them for their endeavors. Pearl Harbor event, people. What happened in 2001? In September 11, 2001. I don't know, man. I don't know. Some of this stuff. If I was a conspiratorial individual, I would think that certain people played certain cards in certain times. I know, Mr. Mossad, I know you're saying it's nonsense, but let's be honest. October 7th has been the catalyst for all of this, and you guys from the Mossad did not put those agents in Iran last week. You didn't embed them into Iran's infrastructure, in military infrastructure, or into the regime's infrastructure from October 7th. Let's be honest. You guys have been in there for decades now, at least the best part of 20 years. So you guys have been playing this and working your way towards this day for a very long time. You guys have been playing the long game. And so you can't really convince me that all of these people, all these Mossad agents that embedded themselves in the Iranian regime started doing that from October 7th. That's not how these things work. Those pagers did not get shipped out to Hezbollah after October 7th. Okay? This has been in plan for a very, very long time. And you guys are now simply executing the thing that you've been building up to the whole time. This is the third act of the movie, the final act where you meet the final boss, and the final boss is actually Iran, and it has been since, I believe, September 11, 2021, when that September 11, 2001, when that 7-star general said all these countries are going to fall and it will all end with the fall of Iran. I think the timeline, I think the mission is simply following its path, its course. You can go ahead and, by all means, I'm going to open the panel in a minute, and you can go ahead and give me your best shot to convince me otherwise. But as they say, change my mind. But you guys have been planning this shit for a long time. Let Zubaydah oil. Let Zubaydah oil my bread one more time. Oh, but yeah, free Iran. I agree. I 100% agree. I want a free Iran, 100% free Iran. And believe me, I'm not really even that pissed, Mossad, that you guys have been planning this for the last 10, 20 years or whatever, because I wish you'd executed this earlier. I wish the Iranian people were free 10 years ago rather than today. But if it has to be today, then it has to be today. If the objective is met, that the Iranian people will actually have a country that is free of these Islamists, then I guess it's worth it. I just fear how many are going to die before that. Oh, let me turn this on.
There's a lot by Mossad. We don't know exactly who, but the sources from inside the regime say that somebody may have been hurt. I'm not really sure. If you were in a car, you're probably more than hurt, but we don't know exactly who yet. The Iranian regime also said that there was an attempt of assassination on the foreign minister, Arakchi, but the Iranian regime was saying that has been unsuccessful. Although we haven't heard from Arakchi for a while, so we'll find out. And the supreme leader himself, because we're going to talk about what's going on in his bunker, or outside his bunker, hasn't actually posted on X for about 10 hours. We'll again get more information on that. Let's talk about what's happening now over the last few minutes. There's Israeli defense.
Okay. Let me just interject with this. Ayatollah Khamenei hasn't posted on X for a few hours. Does he run his X account, do you think? Here's a 90-odd-year-old Islamic Iranian mullah. Do you think he runs his Twitter account? When this man says he hasn't posted anything on his Twitter account for a while, like as if he's there tweeting from the bunker. He's not running that account. Whoever is running it is probably either dead or in some other bunker that they can't actually get at least a verbal confirmation from the Ayatollah that whether we should post something or not. But the fact is, the Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran is not running his Twitter account. Lord have mercy.
Defense forces have issued a massive evacuation order, immediate evacuation order to the civilians in Iran. This message was released, of course, in English and also in Persian, urging all residents near Sefidrud Industrial Park to evacuate immediately. They have said the urgent warning to all people located in the red area of the map in Sefidrud Industrial Park within the village of Kalesh and Talashan. The Israeli army, just as it has been attacking the Iranian regime's military infrastructure throughout Iran in recent days, will soon be operating in this area. Dear citizens, for your safety and health, we ask that you leave the designated area on the map as soon as possible. Now, of course, that red circle you see is a very small area. All you have to do is just leave that bit, stand aside, wait for the IDF to complete their mission, and then you can return. Having said that, there is also the situation in Lavizon. Lavizon is where it is believed that to be the current home of the supreme leader, in the tunnel, in the bunker that has now been completely destroyed. We are getting, as I said, some unconfirmed reports, which we're not going to go with on social media, about the fact that the Ayatollah has already been assassinated. We don't know if he's alive or dead, so we'll wait. Let's go to the video. also as
That's it. So that's outside of the bunker of the Ayatollah. Now that's what they suspect. I mean, who knows? I mean, I wouldn't have. I would move him to multiple locations, or at least appear as if he's in multiple locations. I mean, the funny thing is, Saddam Hussein had it right. He had like what do you call it, lookalikes of himself, which I don't understand why the Ayatollah Khamenei of Iran doesn't have that. I mean, he's just a old man with white beard. I mean, they could literally have stunt doubles of him all over the shop. He could be doing like parkour across Tehran rooftops, and they still wouldn't be able to identify if he's exactly him or not. So I don't know. I don't know why they don't have duplicates or stunt doubles of him, doubles of the Khamenei to give the false notion of where he actually is. I don't know. It's interesting. I guess they haven't thought that far ahead, but Saddam Hussein did, and I believe even Gaddafi had some doubles. I don't know. Either way, yeah, they're going for him. They're going for him. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest. I don't think Khamenei's downfall is going to be or Iran's regime's downfall is going to be Khamenei's death. I mean, let's be honest. He's been on death's doorstep for like 2-3 years. I mean, the man's 90 odd years old. So I'm not entirely sure whether Khamenei's death is going to end the regime. I think we need more than that. We need an actual crushing of the regime. Now, if it's true, the reports that Tusi TV is giving us, which again, as I said, things are not exactly the same when it comes to TikTok. TikTok gives a very different account. Al Jazeera gives a very different account of what is going on with Iran's regime. They're making out that the Iranian regime is solid as a rock. Solid as a rock. They're making out that Iran's regime is immovable. They're perfectly fine. And so if Khamenei is assassinated, the regime won't change. But if there is actually a change in the military, the army, and the police force, not the IRGC, because they're fully devoted to the mullahs. Maybe there's some Fatah type, like crazy fanatical wing of the security as well. Maybe even they'll get some Hezbollahs to come into Iran. I don't know. Hezbollah at the moment is basically scratching their own wounds. They're licking their own wound right now, and Hamas is screwed. So I don't know. But if the military does move against, the army moves against Khamenei, then there is a good chance. There is a very good chance if the army is actually against them. And we have the Mossad, Mr. Mossad. Let's bring on Mr. Mossad.
Yes.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes. And I hear myself.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to stop until I stop the sharing of the screen. It's my sharing. I don't know what it is, but for some unknown reason, when I do the sharing, the echo, everybody else hears an echo. But I think if you mute your mic, you won't hear an echo. It's only when your mic is unmuted, you hear the echo. So you have to just unmute when you want to talk. Okay, let's get an opinion from yourself, sir. And we actually have the Mossad on our panel. Let's get some insight. Yeah, how long have you been embedded in the Iranian regime?
I'd say close to 20 years.
So this plan has been unfolding for 20 years.
I think between 10 and 20. I mean, I don't know, but based on what they've been talking about. I mean, you can read if you read the Israeli newspapers going back 30 years, you'll find lots of articles going about how each prime minister is promising to do something about this Iranian threat. Because from our point of view, we're like as citizens. Why do I have this feedback though all the time? Still, because because
I just stopped the sharing. Is that
I
fix
get
it? Yeah. That fixed it.
So I mean, from our point of view, we've been threatened, and they're building a nuclear bomb, and even without a nuclear bomb, They're building these thousands of missiles. They gave Hezbollah about 100,000 missiles, and so on. So we just expected someone to do something about it. We weren't sure how they're going to deal with it, but I know that there was a big plan for a war against Iran about 10 years ago, and they spent a huge amount of money preparing for it, and then it was cancelled. It just didn't happen. So I think that it was because they couldn't get the go ahead from America, basically. Um, I don't remember the timing, but it could have been the same time as Obama was trying to get a deal with Iran, and Netanyahu was saying all along, "There's no point doing a deal with Iran because they will cheat." And every time we talk about Iran, we obviously are talking about the IRGC, not Iran, the country or the people.
Oh
Right?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We're talking about the regime, the Iranian
Yeah.
regime, of course. But so really, I mean, ultimately, this situation with Iran's, the regime change in Iran has been on the cards for a very long time. Clearly, as you said, like at
Yes.
least best part of 20 years. But
It's
if
been
that
well
is the
since they've been
case,
threatening us. So the more they've been threatening us, the more it's been gone on the news. Like, well,
yeah.
what's happening? Why are they threatening us? Is someone going to do something about it? So it kind of intensified over the years.
But my main thing is that if this has been on the cards for as long as it has, then why is it that sorry, not Bush, Trump, even Biden, first of all, Biden gave the regime tremendous amount of money for prisoner exchanges and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And Trump, with this sort of, I would call it at this point a farce of pretending to negotiate and have some kind of nuclear negotiation. Uh, why then all this farce all this time? Why didn't they just simply get to this point and just do it?
Well, because you got two types of thinking, right? You got on the American left, they believe that everybody at heart is an American, and if you just give them a good life, then everyone will be happy. They don't understand that not everybody is an American. In fact, a lot of people do not want to be like Americans. And it doesn't matter how many times they fail, they just keep doing it again and again and again. I mean, they tried it in Iran, they tried it in Iraq, in Libya, in Syria. It just goes on and on. So sorry, I forgot your question.
Well,
Tired.
all I'm saying is like all of this sort of pretense. If this was always on the cards, this invasion, this
Yes.
attack, then really
This is
this was
known stuff.
just I mean, this was just all a waste of time pretending to negotiate and have this and that because
No,
ultimately
it's
they
not
just
a
wanted to
waste.
do this anyway.
It's not a waste of time because the Americans are a bit more naive. That's what I'm trying to say. They're a bit more naive about the Middle East. They thought that they could make a deal. But Netanyahu always said, and I think most Israelis agreed, that you can't really do a deal with the Iranian regime. You just can't do it. Like even if you sign a deal, it means nothing. They'll just do whatever they want. They
They'll use it as
they
delay tactic.
despise Israel. They despise the UK. They despise America. Whatever they sign, it's just a tactic. Why would what? It's just a piece of paper. I just don't get the West. They think that if they got a piece of paper with a signature, it means something. Like what they're gonna do if Iran says, one morning they announce we have nukes. Now what? What are they gonna do? What, send them a fine? You know?
Well, yeah. I mean, well, that would be sanctions again
But
and this
yeah,
and that.
but but they wouldn't be able to do that so well because the Iranians would be able to do whatever they want. They will start getting more and more influence in the Middle East. Then all the other countries around them would want nukes too. So
Well, yeah.
Saudi, Kuwait, Iraq,
Yeah.
Turkey. We're gonna
It
have
would
Egypt.
definitely
Yeah.
start what they call like an arms race towards nuclear
Yeah.
power for the Middle East. I mean, does so? No, you're right. Turkey doesn't actually own any nukes.
No, Turkey is now arming itself with lots of missiles
Yeah.
because it's not good. We don't want escalation of more weapons, more pressure, more, you know. None of these governments are very stable. So you don't know what happens if government
What,
falls.
first of all, you yourself are in Israel right now. Are you
Yeah.
talking to us from a bunker, or are you just
No,
normal? Are
just
you in the
normal, just
outskirts?
normal. But what
So
what we do is we have the safe rooms. So we either sleep in the safe room or we just make sure that we have easy access to the safe room.
I
And
see, I
that's
see.
how most people are basically saved. That's why there's so few deaths. We'd have had thousands of deaths,
Yeah, yeah,
definitely
yeah.
over 1,000 by now.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Um,
mean, given the fact, are you surprised that the Iron Dome hasn't been as effective as
no,
they should have been?
well, first it's not Iron Dome. So this it's Iron Dome is a system for tracking rockets.
Okay,
What they
okay.
use here is four systems. They use there's one called David Sling, another one called
Yes,
Arrow 2, and another
yes.
one called Arrow 3, and there's an American system called THAAD, and I think there's
Okay.
yet another system that I don't remember.
Oh, I see. These are
And
the intercept. These are the missile
yes, and they
interceptors.
all have pros and cons. This one is good at long range, but not as accurate, and this one is more accurate, but it only goes 40 miles, and you know.
Has any of these been effective against? Because it appears, at least from the videos that I've seen on what do you call on X, that
Yeah.
their hypersonic missiles are the ones that are really getting through.
Yes.
They're not getting a lot of. You guys are not really able to counteract those ones because those ones are just way too fast.
It's also practice. They just they need to study how they behave. So
Mm,
they've got humans and AI systems analyzing the data and learning. So they get better every day at doing this. But the rate is about 10% manage to get through, and of those
mm.
10%, some actually hit you know where it matters. Some just fall, in a field,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
scare everyone.
I've
But
heard that you've got like an intelligence system in which if the missile is not actually falling on a civilian or populated area, then they'll just allow it to hit because it's going to be in the
yes,
desert or the ocean or somewhere. So
yeah,
so the
yeah.
system
There
doesn't
was
waste
one not
rockets.
far from me like that. But what so with a rate of about 10% falling, and about probably two-thirds of those falling on targets. Now these missiles they send. Don't forget, these are not rockets. So when Israel says that we've got full control of the airspace, that doesn't include missiles because they fly like at very high altitude. What they mean by airspace is like
Hmm.
the Air Force, the Israeli Air Force, is flying freely in Iran as if it was their country. Basically, they're just flying. There's no.
Yeah.
That's what they mean by they've got
They've got
full
air
control of
superiority. Yeah,
the
they've got
airspace.
like superiority. Really, they don't have total dominance of the airspace, as
No,
in
no,
the
no. This
long
is what
column
is
launching.
meant. This is what is meant. You can. This is not the missiles have a different like path. It's you're not going to stop the missiles going out of Iran with jet planes. They're talking about the ability of Israeli jets to fly in and out of Iran with no resistance.
Oh,
They
I'm
just
with you. I'm
fly
with
to
you.
Iran, bomb whatever they want, come back to Israel, refuel, fly again to Iran, as if it was like
I
a,
see.
a friendly airport. This is what they mean by that. To stop the missiles at launch is what they do is they actually hit them when they're launching. So you can see you
Oh,
probably saw clips where they hit the launchers, where they see
yes, yeah. I
the
saw that
launcher
with
moving
actually some
around, and then
drone.
yeah,
They the Mossad from the inside launched some drones against the launchers, and sort of
yeah.
disabled or destroyed the launchers. So yeah, yeah. I did see that. In fact, I'm actually checking right now to see if I can find my some of the
So
videos essentially.
about 30 missiles
Hmm.
um, fell in Israel, and they're definitely aiming at both, like big, big. infrastructure like power stations and stuff like that. But definitely at suburbs, they're just hitting, towns. There's nothing there. There's no targets there.
Oh, I see. I see.
You got the MI6 building in London, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Right. So as far as they're concerned, they're saying, "Oh, we're not aiming at civilians." But if they, I don't know, I can't remember. But you got Oxford Street is not that far from MI6 building, right? So they'll hit Oxford Street.
Well, no, MI6 is in Vauxhall. Oxford Street would be
What
quite a
is
way
it?
away. But let's
So-
say yeah, Battersea or London Bridge or like Westminster Bridge or something like that. Yeah.
Something that's near. I don't remember right exactly, but
yeah.
but yeah, something that's near. So they're saying, Israel using people as human shields, but you could say England is using people as human shields.
Oh,
You've got
yeah.
the MI6 building in. I mean, you've got everything there. You've got like Interpol. You've got, that's where are you going to put it?
Exactly. No,
This
no, no.
is- this-
I. That's what I said as well. I said Israel is a small country, and so its military targets or its military bases and various different military targets are going to be near civilian population because it's a tiny country in comparison.
Yeah,
to
but
Iran.
nothing. No, but no, what I mean is the Mossad building, the offices will be like the
yeah.
MI6 building. We wouldn't have an army base in the middle of a city or like on the side of a city. You'd be
Yeah.
separate. There'll be definitely space between the military and the people as much as we can have,
Yeah.
right? Because no, they don't want civilian casualties. We're the opposite of Hamas. We don't want civilian casualties.
Well,
we
yeah.
invested,
you guys. Yeah, yeah.
we invested billions, to make sure that civilians are not hurt. Because
exactly.
it's obviously it's bad, but it makes you more likely to lose the war. It costs a lot of money to deal with. So beyond
Yeah.
the obviously the loss of life, it drags it down. And I wanted to make a point that I heard someone else make, where all these people like Tucker Carlson and all these morons that are arguing against this American involvement, they're actually reducing what's the word? Trump's leverage.
Oh,
Because the
how do you
Iranians
mean?
know that his party is split on the topic, and they're working them.
Oh, I see,
Do
I
you see what I mean? It's like it's a famous scene in The Godfather where they have a meeting of the mobs, the mafia heads, and what's his name, Don Corleone's son says, "But Dad," and then his dad looks at him and just makes him shut up. But as a result, he gets shot because they think, okay, if we get rid of him, the son will take over, and with the son we can do business. Because he said, "But," yeah, because he's weak. He said, "But Dad," and he said to him, "You never say 'but' to me, in a meeting, never."
So
And
this
that,
is similar to essentially what
yeah,
what
because
you're saying
instead
with
of
Tucker
they're
Carlson
doing
and all
the
these other guys,
Yeah,
because they're
bec-
actually flinching essentially.
they're a bunch of leftists. They're doing what leftists always do, which is to go against, instead of showing unity, they always take the opposite side of the country and side with the enemy. We got the same crap here. We got leftists here that are like, BB this, BB that. They're all like going crazy. They've got like BB derangement syndrome, no matter what. The thing is, the funny thing is, nobody here really, apart from a few fanatics, likes Netanyahu. But at the same time, everyone admits that he should be the prime minister. If anyone else.
Yeah. Okay, let me play this this little clip which I found eventually on TikTok, because these are just a couple of things that I've been looking at on TikTok. Actually, do we have anyone in the background? Oh, actually, we do have one more person. Okay, guy, the chap in the background. Just hold on for one moment. I'll play this and then and then we can move on.
In Iran and Israel has reached a critical point for Israel, with recordings from across the country showing that the Iron Dome is either not firing or no longer functioning as intended, causing heavy damage to its surroundings. Iran during the early mornings of Israel fired an unprecedented nearly 500 missiles at 7 cities in Israel with a nearly 98% impact rate, its highest to date. Sources say that Israel is just days away from strategic defeat and that President Netanyahu is applying maximum pressure on the US and Europe to officially intervene in the war effort. U.S. politician Ted Cruz, in an interview with Tucker Carlson, admitted that it's actually the U.S. military that is fighting Iran and not Israel's. Unofficial reports and accidental radar spots have already detected warplanes of the U.S., UK, Germany, and France actively fighting.
Now, I'll be perfectly honest with you. This is TikTok. This is what I'm saying about the right, the sort of the exceedingly anti-Israeli sort of side of TikTok. TikTok is just showing
obviously crap.
But are these actually real, or could this be AI?
These are missiles, but they've been hit by the. He said by the Iron Dome. The Iron Dome is not used here. It's off. Okay. Okay.
All right. Okay, let's.
I mean, maybe it's on just in case. But I mean,
wow. But you see, they're the interceptors that are going out.
Yeah.
But the reason I want to show that, because they almost seem like maybe, because there is actually one that I saw.
Yeah, this is
one of the hypersonic missiles actually.
Yeah, this is.
I thought maybe that was one of them, because it was floating almost in the air and then accelerated downwards very quickly. I don't know exactly what type of missiles.
I think that's just an illusion.
Oh, I see. But they've got some very. I mean, it's certainly Iran has a lot more sophisticated, cruise missiles and generally, the missiles that they're launching than Hamas, and I think that's maybe why Israel got a bit caught off guard. Maybe they were not expecting Iran to have the sophisticated, or maybe they're just too used to the very unsophisticated missiles that the Hamas launches at them, and they intercept those almost like 99% of the time. So maybe
no,
it was. I don't know.
They knew
that
just seems that they knew that they knew this.
Oh, sorry, I'll stop that.
The stuff
Okay,
from
we have someone in the back.
Tech, right? So we knew that they hit us last year, didn't they?
Hello, Mr. Timothy.
How you doing?
Of course, the gentleman from CT.
Yes.
You were on CT tonight, weren't you?
I was there yesterday.
Oh, yes. Sorry, nights are blending in together. I thought you were there tonight as well. But how are you, sir? How was things?
I'm good. I would like to give a quick American perspective on this war. I disagree. Here's the consensus. We don't have a dog in this fight. And the issue is this. If it escalates and they do a draft, what's going to happen is there's not enough capable people in America to fight. They're going to be recalling veterans like me with my background. And I am not going to go fight a war because Israel started it. I don't know anybody in Iran. And the Iranians I do know, they're here. I wrestle with them and they're cool people. So the problem is this. We're looking at 3-4 steps ahead, and we're projecting it's going to come back on the veterans that fought the Iraq and Afghanistan war, and that's not fair.
Right. I don't think
this is where everybody. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mr. Massa.
I don't think that's going to come to any of this. I think basically Trump is waiting for us to do most of the work, and then he might drop a bomb at the end. But I don't think there's any chance of American troops being involved. Despite everything that's said on the internet, Americans never fought for Israel. They fought for Vietnam. They fought for Korea. They fought for the British. They fought for the French. They fought for everyone except us. Never.
That's not true.
It is.
That's not true.
100% true.
Special Forces proves otherwise.
Give me an example of America ever fighting for Israel.
You can't, because it's not official, is what I'm telling you.
Even unofficial. Show me one example.
You won't be able to see it, is what I'm telling you.
Okay.
So you're saying covert missions?
Absolutely.
Like America.
Absolutely.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
But the
Maybe
thing
they're
is,
doing
That's
stuff
but
together.
that counts.
Yeah, but Israel does that for America too. So it's like whatever.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree. What I'm saying is I don't have veterans like me don't have a dog in this fight, and if it escalates, Russia and China could get involved, and it's going to have a direct effect on the veterans that have been long gone and don't want a part of this. Is what I'm telling you.
Yeah.
There's not enough capable people in America to do a draft. If you look at cities like Philadelphia, Chicago, 80% of the city is unfit for military duty. And what happens is they go to critical career fields like mine and others, and they're going to say, hey, you did this for us for the Air Force. You did this for us for the Marines. Guess what? You're still in selective service. We're going to call you back. And I'm going to say no, because I don't have a dog in this fight.
Well,
the thing is, let me, Mr. Mossad, just one second, Mossad, just 1 second. You're right, but the thing is that what they're hoping in this situation is that there will be no it will never come to that.
Correct.
That it will simply be a regime change from sort of like a mixed bag of internal and external regime change. And once they get rid of those key figures, which looks like what they're doing with these assassinations, is to essentially take out the leadership, so that the people of Iran and if it's true that the army, because there's two separate military groups, there's the army and then the IRGC. If the army has defected, if the police force has already defected, then they will be the boots on the ground. They don't say that we don't need for Americans to put boots on the ground or anyone to put. I'll be perfectly honest. I myself don't want anyone's boots on the ground except the Iranian people, because that is the only way that you're going to get a successful regime change. I was talking to someone else, another Iranian, on Sunday, and any regime that comes into play, even an interim one, as a result of Israeli or American influence, the Iranian people will reject it because they will see them as puppets of America and Israel. And so we cannot have a transitional government that has any association or any direct influence from Israel or America, because the Iranian people will reject it, and then we'll end up in some kind of sectarian war or civil war. So anything that comes out of the interim government, even the interim, not even the final government, has to be from the Iranian people themselves.
No, I agree.
How does that look though when you kill everybody? When you're out there killing everybody that's capable of holding those roles, how does that look?
Well, the thing is, what they're banking on at the moment, from what I can see, is not necessarily the people inside Iran, but potentially the diaspora, and to bring in people like the Reza Shah Pahlavi or other leaders, which I have. You see, this is my problem.
It's funny. Just for one point, it's funny because I see so many videos of Iranians thanking us, saying to Bibi, thank you, Bibi, you're amazing, we love you, Bibi. And all I hear from Westerners is whining and whining and whining. It's so weird. It's like the world is upside down. You should be by default with us. Of course, you've got a dog in this fight. Of course, you've got a major dog in this fight. Iran's plan is to take over as much as possible and all your assets in the Middle East and then in Europe and then eventually you. Of course,
but we haven't seen that yet. There's been no evidence of that. Just because they have a capability of a nuke, there's been no evidence of that.
You haven't seen evidence? They took over Yemen, Lebanon, Syria, and Iraq.
And Yemen's been attacked by us, since 2021? I can't remember how many times.
Yeah, because Iran is taking over it.
Yemen has been kind of in an internal proxy war between the Houthis and the Yemeni government, funded by America and Saudi Arabia versus Iran for the Houthis. But the Houthis seem to have got the upper hand, and they seem to be the ones who are kind of running things at the moment in Yemen. But apart from the proxies of Iran, you're right, Iran may not, I mean, let's be honest, Mr. Mossad, it is a bit excessive for people to swallow the pill that Iran at one point in the future is going to attack the United States. That is a hard pill for anyone outside.
Well, as far as we know, they've
already
tried to assassinate Trump, and they will definitely, have operatives in the West, and a lot of the stuff that is now turning Americans supposedly on the right against their own country is Iranian propaganda.
Well, I mean, a lot of people say it's Russian propaganda.
Oh,
It's communism. But the thing is, what I'm trying to say is that to convince an American, convince a European, let alone an American, that one day Iran will directly go to war with the United States, nobody's buying that one. No one's buying that one at all. So
it will
that's why
not
you
go
can't
to
really
war with
expect
America.
Americans.
It will not go to war, but it will definitely
Yeah, but
hurt America.
proxies, and as like you said, if you're saying American interests, if you're saying they're going to attack some bases, maybe in Saudi Arabia, in Arab
It's more
Emirates,
complicated than
Kuwait,
that. They
Bahrain,
will,
or stoke revolutions in these
no, it's
countries,
worse than that.
absolutely.
For example, if they stop the shipping routes, if they control the shipping routes, then they basically have Europe by the balls. The whole Western alliance will be in their
Mm,
hands.
it would hurt, but it wouldn't be by the balls. It would hurt, and they wouldn't be able to sustain it for that long.
And all the control over all the oil in the Middle East and the gas.
Yeah, but how long? How long? I mean, I know what you're saying about the Straits of Hormuz, but how long can they really be able to blockade that? Given America will literally bomb the living
If
crap
they
out
have
of them,
nukes,
if
if
they
they have nukes,
do
look
that.
at the
No,
opposition
even if
you
they
have now.
nukes.
They're going to be scared. The Americans will not allow their government to go to war. I mean, look at how scared Americans are now.
No one's scared. See, you're missing the point. We're looking at all these other people coming in rabbit punching, like China, like Russia. We don't want to. We're trying to live in a society without war, and it seems like Israel wants one really, really bad. That's what it looks like.
No, it's exactly the opposite. We're trying to live in a society without war, and it looks like Iran wants one really, really bad because they announce almost daily they're going to destroy our country, and they've
So what?
surrounded us. Wait,
That's
wait.
words.
What do you mean? So what? If a
Here's the
country,
thing.
if a country is saying they're going to destroy us, and all it does is arm itself and arm terrorist organization all around us who murdered members of my family and friends and so on. Don't tell me they're not trying to kill me. They are trying to kill me. Don't tell me I'm the one who's
People say
more.
death to
No,
America
mate,
every
I'm not
day.
seeking
And you know
war.
what? It goes
I'm
in one
looking
ear and out the other.
No, don't tell me I'm looking for war because I didn't go and murder anyone. Someone came to me. Someone is
Oh,
surrounding
there's
me
a lot
from
of
all directions.
evidence to the contrary that Israel's murdered a lot of people, bud.
No, there isn't. No, there isn't. There's a lot of crap being lied about Israel, and when you actually the UN, all these reports, when actually after a few years later, if you check, all the reports are eventually crap and lies and lies and lies and
But
propaganda.
no, Timothy, I will say this. Let's try to be. I mean, if you were objective, even if Iran, said they're going to kill this guy or that guy, Iran directly themselves have not actually killed any Israelis, and Israelis haven't really, up until literally the last week.
Yes,
or
they
so,
have, man.
haven't
Yes,
killed
they
any
have. They
Iranians.
shot missiles at us last year multiple times. Yes, they have.
No. Last year, that's because Israel literally bombed an Iranian consulate, or at least outside of the Iranian consulate, to kill and they to try to kill, I guess, certain generals or whatever in Syria. So that was actually an attack upon Iranian sovereignty.
He was there to coordinate Hezbollah attacks.
Oh yeah, I agree.
So they were attacking us.
Mr. Mossad,
They were literally.
you don't have to convince me that those people are scumbags. But no, but the thing is, they didn't attack you directly. They were going to coordinate with their proxies.
If I hire someone to kill someone, I'm the one responsible. They basically hired
Of
Hezbollah to kill
course.
us.
But this is what I mean. This is what the Americans don't see.
Well, they don't have to
The
see it, but don't
Americans
tell me.
just see direct attacks from one country to another.
They've been swearing that they will destroy Israel. They've got a clock with a countdown to the end of Israel. They're developing missile technology that even America doesn't have the technology to deal with. They're developing nukes. What do you want? I mean, we just want to live quietly in peace. Any country that said we want peace with Israel, we got a peace deal with them. We signed more peace deals than Bibi Netanyahu is the most peaceful man on earth. He signed more peace deals than anyone alive today. That's a fact.
He's not the most peaceful man on earth. Let's not start there. Here's the issue.
100%.
Here's the issue. Israel has the best intel in the world, and they could go about this whole Gaza situation better as well. Listen, not my circus, not my monkeys, but I'm telling you this.
You're showing ignorance here. The
No,
intel we have
I'm telling you that there's
demonstrated
better
not
ways to do this, and they're
okay. You're
choosing
gonna teach us.
specifically not to.
How are you gonna
Mr.
teach us?
Mossad, let
Okay,
him make
I'm
his case. Let
muting
him make
now.
his
You
case.
talk.
Give him a minute.
What I'm saying
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
this.
Just let him make his case.
Israel has the best intel in the world. I think it's better than Russia, and I think it's better than ours here. I think that there's better ways to go about how they're dealing with this whole Gaza situation with Hamas and everybody. I think there's easier ways to spend a little bit more money and more time not to kill some of these women and children. Listen, I understand war is war, but if your intel is so good, there's other ways to go about this than saying, well, they shouldn't have chose a hospital. They shouldn't have chose this. Here's the problem. You're using the guise of it's just war to kill whoever you want, enemies and whoever is included. I'm not foreign to this. I'm very versed in military strategy. I understand what's going on. But again, not my circus, not my monkeys. I can look at this objectively and say there's better ways to do this and you're just choosing not to. I'm sorry.
Can I? Okay, Mr. Mossad, if you have something to say, do you want to go? Okay, I think he might have stepped away for a minute. Timothy, you see, the thing is, I find it difficult to really push back against what you're saying because it is true that it has been demonstrated that if Israel, through the Mossad, if they want to do a surgical thing with the Hezbollah, with the assassination of a lot of the leadership of Iran, they can do that. They can embed people. I mean, come on, these guys, they embedded, did you hear when I said they embedded a Mossad agent inside the regime who made it so high in the rankings that he was put in charge of finding Mossad agents in Iran. I mean, that's some James Bond shit right there. That's straight out of a James Bond.
I'll do you
movie.
one better. Do you remember a couple decades ago when they didn't kill Arafat, when they had him between 3 floors in his palace and they just roped him off and let him live? They knew exactly what they were doing. They can be the best at anything they want to do at any given time. Ever since that whole Munich thing with the Olympics, they've been on point. They can do what they want surgically, just like our special forces. I know this for a fact. This is not a guess. But again, this isn't my operation, but I can look at things and tell you they're doing things the way they want to for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard. I mean, I don't want to conflate a lot of these different situations, different, if you like, what do you call it? Different theaters of war, because I see Israel versus Hezbollah as a different theater of war to Israel versus Syria, Israel versus Iran, Israel versus Hamas. These are all different theaters of war. They're fighting on multiple different fronts, but the way they conducted the Hezbollah and the way they conducted recently the Iran stuff was very, very different to the way they conducted themselves towards Hamas. Now, I'm gonna put myself out there a little bit on the limb. I've said this privately, and I'm just gonna say it for the first time publicly. I think because of October 7th, Israel wanted a little bit of revenge, and they conducted a bit of what's it called, collective punishment of the Palestinians in Gaza. Now they will deny it till the cows come home. But I suspect that this wasn't just because they couldn't do surgical attacks. It was because they wanted to kind of punish the Palestinians of Gaza for what they allowed to do or what they let Hamas do under their watch. Because, I mean, let's be honest. When October 7th was happening, those Palestinians were not shouting Allahu Akbar in despair. They were shouting Allahu Akbar in joy. They were literally joyful. There were videos after videos that came out of Gaza, them celebrating that poor girl that was dragged on the back of that pickup truck. They were literally joyful that they had kidnapped this girl, which God knows what they did to her. Another girl that was dead, and they were dragging her dead body. These guys weren't sad about it. They weren't booing. So, a little bit of collective punishment.
Assigning Israel all these bad motives all the time is just weird. I don't know how to argue against.
I'm not assigning the bad motive. I'm just saying I don't even blame them. I just see it as anger.
Well, of course,
and they are hammering
angry,
Hamas differently to the way they're hammering.
You have to understand a few
Hezbollah
things.
And Iran.
First, the Israeli army is run by a bunch of peacenik leftists. for start. So when you think, oh, Netanyahu is far right wing, you know, blah blah. First, he's not. He's like he's modeled his ideas on Reagan, people like that. I wouldn't call Reagan far right. Thatcher, maybe. I think he was a very good friend with Thatcher. But the court in Israel can block anything the government does. The court is just a bunch of leftists, all of it. That's partly why we keep demanding court reform in Israel. On the right wing, we want to reform the court because it's basically been taken over by leftists, and we can't change it. It's not like in America where anyone can appoint them. They appoint themselves. So they've got the committee where they appoint new ones. They decide between themselves, more or less. So they're all leftists. So everything gets blocked. Everything gets blocked on human rights issues. So yes, there was a lot of anger. I cannot tell you exactly what everybody's thinking and what everybody's doing, but I know that the mood in Israel and how people are, and it's just not in our nature. We don't want to kill women and children and all this nonsense that people accuse us of. It's just.
But yet it happens, though.
No,
but yet it happens.
It happens because there's no choice. Listen, there's several reasons why it's a bad idea for us. One, morally, we don't like it. So people just don't like it in Israel. We don't like to see these pictures. We see them, we don't like them, and the politicians know. That's one. Two, it works against us because the world hates us for it. So it works against us. The best deal for us would be to just kill all of Hamas and no women and children dead. Zero. That would be great if we could do it. The world would love us. We win the war, and that would be great. Who wouldn't want it? I mean, it's just so silly to accuse us of all this stuff. We achieve better rates than the Americans or the British in similar situations of civilian to militant ratio. And if you've been to the U.S. Army, which, by the way, I have a lot of respect for, then you would know this.
I disagree with you there, but we could. I'm not going to argue that point. What I will say is,
you probably know better than me. Tell me if I'm wrong.
What I will say this is, we killed a lot of women and children in Vietnam, and a lot of women and children in Afghanistan. It happened. I'm not going to say it didn't. But and Iraq. I'm sorry. I'll group both wars together. But what I will tell you is this: it's kind of odd that Israel was the one that warned us about 9/11 and knew about October 7th beforehand. And listen, I can pick apart a lot of things that I look at in intel reports because I still get them, and I just have questions. I'm not attacking Israel. I'm just saying that there's better ways of going about some of this stuff. It's just glaringly obvious, and there's a reason it's not going that way. And you might be right. That might be the leftist influence of your government. Maybe so, but it's glaringly obvious that it's going this way because somebody is choosing this.
Well, what do you mean this way? Do you think Israelis are happy with how it's going?
Some are 100%, because you see videos of it. I just watched the video earlier of we have to kill the offspring. We have to kill the offspring.
I watched a video of a Christian priest that was doing some stuff with snakes, talking to snakes.
But this lady was on the ground near Gaza. She was. Here's the thing, man.
Look, all these videos. I'm telling you what I know from talking to lots of people on the street, in the cafe, when I go shopping, when I go and buy food. I talk to lots of people, friends, family, and so on. You get the vibe from being around. And where I live and work is like the core of the population. Okay, I get to speak to people from all sides. And I get the general vibe of it. Yes, there are people, kill them all. Yeah, there are always people like that. But then they're a small minority. Most Israelis want peace. We are very Americanized and Westernized. We like living nice. We like our lattes. We like flying to London and Paris and all these places. And we want a Western lifestyle. Most of us. Okay, so that's the majority of Israelis. And when the stuff that you see I watch all the American channels. I watch people as crazy as Nick Fuentes. or people not as crazy as him. I know what Americans are talking about. Tucker Carlson. I know the stuff people are talking about, and I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, wow. I mean, the stuff they come up with, it's just crazy. What the stuff they think that we want to do? Like they talk about Greater Israel Project and all this stuff. Israelis don't even know about this stuff. Like they'll be like, what? What are you talking about? It is so weird.
Well, let me ask
So
you this: what are the ages of the people who want war, and what are the ages of the people who want peace? Because that matters. Like, are they military age people who want war, or are they the older retired people who want peace? I mean, I'm just trying to ask for context.
I think it's split. I'd say the younger people are a bit more more pro-war. I wouldn't, but I don't know if they're pro-war. They're a bit more. They're willing to take more risks than older people.
They're more
Sure.
defensive.
Yeah, the people who have children and mortgages and jobs and stuff. They less wanted. But look, with the Iran thing, like it's very hard to find someone in Israel that doesn't agree that we had to attack Iran. That it had to happen 10 years ago. Really, everybody agrees this. Even people on the left. Even the head of the opposition came out and said he fully supports Netanyahu. He says, I can't stand the guy. I disagree with him about almost everything you can imagine, but this he's absolutely right about. So, and we know,
one thing I want to ask you.
we could be wrong. We could be doing things wrong. We've done lots of things wrong, but we've got some experience in this, with dealing with these countries. And Americans have had some experience, and it wasn't good, right? It didn't come out very good from the Middle East.
Mr. Mossad, I just want to ask you one thing in regards to these missiles exchanges. Do you think that Israel has sufficient intercepting missiles to be able to deal with all of, or whatever, however many missiles that Iran has to launch, or is this going to deplete their arsenal, which means that they're going to take in much more casualties as this thing goes on?
I don't know. Is the answer? It's a top secret how many missiles, the interceptors they have. Nobody knows how many the Americans have.
I see. Of course, they'll be supplied by America as their stockpile, I guess.
Well, we
reduces,
stupidly signed the
but-
contract with America. We developed the missiles, but we gave America the exclusive license to make them.
Oh,
Right. This is why America
Well,
gives us all this money and stuff. They get good deals out of it. So America has the exclusive license. So we have to buy them from America, even though it's an Israeli innovation. So
Yeah, but you don't
Yeah,
have
but I
the
mean, I
space
guess
for
if
factories
we
over there to
funded
build
it-
something like that, though, do you?
yeah, we do. Yeah, we
Well,
made the airplane.
No, I'm
Also-
saying
also
like
if
in
it was
mass
funded,
production
if
where
the
you're going to
research-
need them for like a continuing war kind of scenario.
I don't know. I don't know. It's like
Also, I would imagine it's similar to, like, for example, if I, when I was a university and I worked for my university, if I'd developed any software whilst I was signed with that university, or in fact, some companies, if you're a
That's
software
right.
developer, any software you develop whilst you're working for that company belongs to the
Yeah.
company. Because you are signed with that, so I would imagine that's the type of scenario
Exactly.
where America funded
exactly.
those
So
researchers.
these billions they give
the
Israel,
Israelis
that's how they get
did
their
the
money back.
Exactly, they get
All
their
sorts
money
of-
back is by
yeah.
saying that anything developed whilst we are funding this research
Also, we
is
can't sell
essentially
it
American
without their
property.
permission, right? So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Well, you wouldn't have
WO
anybody to
This
sell
sort of
it
thing
to.
is fairly
You wouldn't have
common.
anybody to sell it to.
What do you mean? Everybody's
Well,
It's a
the
joke. It's a joke. It's a
Europeans-
joke. It's a joke.
You know
It's a
that
joke.
all of Europe is buying the Euro 3. Like
Yeah,
the
the
Germans are
Europeans
buying
would,
it.
but then they
and
would-
others
It's a
are-
joke. Just a joke.
Israel is number
But,
5 or 6, maybe 8, depending on how you count, arms manufacturer in the world.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. So speaking of this, I think this is the one I found. Like, so I've been looking for this video. There's a video showing. I'm pretty sure it's these hypersonic. These are the hypersonic ones because they they're not they don't look like they're moving at much of a pace to begin with, and then suddenly they accelerate
No, that
crazy
I don't think
fast.
that's the thing with
And
them. I think they all seem to accelerate as they, it's a bit like an
as they
aeroplane. It
reach the
looks like it's
target.
flying slowly when it's far.
Oh, I
Right?
see. I see. And then as they get
Yeah.
close, yeah, because some of these things they look crazy. They look crazy. And I have, as I say, I've seen the actual like the trail that the hypersonic ones leave is very different to the other sort of. In fact, let me share my screen on this particular. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Oh, come on, pause. Sorry, guys, just bear with me. Let me share this thing. It's a little bit slow until I get this done.
I know that there are lots of Iranians boats. These are not the Iranians you like. Cafes.
Showtimes are on the hour. Not a moment before and not a moment
Yeah,
later.
you see what I mean?
Times are on the
I know
hour.
what this
Not a
is.
moment before and not a moment later.
Let's hell with them. Let's hell with them.
You guys see that? Yeah, I can't seem
Why
to
do
make
they
it.
put all this crazy
screen on
music?
TikTok. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
just
I
TikTok
think
for you.
I think it
But the thing is,
I don't know what this is.
I can't actually. I'm trying to make it like bigger, but I can't actually make it any bigger. No, that's nothing. I don't know what it is. Actually, hold on.
Did you see the photo of the
F-35
F-35 they took down?
Oh, this is the thing. Is it true that the Iranian F-35 then?
Did you see the photo?
No, I haven't seen anything, but I've just heard about
They
it. They
they
didn't actually
they
show me.
they made an AI photo of an
Are
F-35
you kidding?
with people surrounding it on the ground. But
So
they
it's
got
not
the
actually.
scale. They
There's
got the
no.
scale wrong.
So it's they got the scale
Yes,
wrong.
it's a bit like that movie, about the band. Where they got
Oh god.
they built the Stonehenge thing. What it is.
Oh dear God. Yeah,
They made it
yeah.
the wrong size. It was a few centimeters high.
So did they actually? So they've never actually shot
This
an
height of
F-35
proportion.
down.
No, they didn't.
So
No.
the whole thing is a hoax.
Of course, yes. I mean, this is a constant stream of coke coming out of Iran.
Well, it's all over TikTok as well. It's like obviously the pro-Palestinians because TikTok is a very anti-American, Israeli platform. I'll be
Yes.
perfectly honest. They just if you're a pro-Israeli, you get banned and kicked off. I got a suspension when I was on a live stream of a Israeli girl. Her live stream. I wasn't even talking. I was just like this, just sitting, listening to what they were saying. I got banned. I got a,
That
I
was
got
a
like
yeah, you
48 hours.
too. Yeah, you too.
I didn't even know you could get banned for just being on someone else's stream, or a suspension. I mean, it was like a 48-hour suspension. But it was
Yeah,
like,
I found all these networks, Facebook, Twitter, they're all anti-Israeli. It's like you're much more likely to get banned as an Israeli than anyone else.
but I mean, that's why I don't
Then
really
the next
do
in
anything
line
on
is
these
white
platforms.
people in America. If they say anything,
Well, this is the thing. This is why I don't really go on like TikTok. The only reason I've been going to TikTok is because I know that there was going to be a whole bunch of anti-Israeli propaganda on there for in this conflict. I wanted to see what kind of like stuff they're talking about or what is going on the other side because unless I still believe that it is still worth seeing what the other side is talking about, what propaganda
Yeah.
they're pushing, because you at least know what you're going against. If you're going to develop some kind of an argument against what they're saying, you have to know what they're saying. So for me,
it was
it's
funny.
still curious.
After 7th of October, I went on. I was still. I was not blocked yet on the academic agent channel, and I went there, and everybody was telling me that all our tanks have been hit by Hamas, and I'm like, what are they talking about? So it's if they're watching some alternative reality, and none of these things happen. And in Israel, it's very hard to hide things. It's not. It's a small country, and almost every household has someone in the army. So it's you can hide stuff, but up to a level. You can't lose like 50 tanks and nobody will know. It just doesn't happen.
50 tanks. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Weren't they just magnifying all the damage that happened to that the point where Hamas entered when they entered on the ground? They just burned up a few trucks and they just magnified that.
No, that was after. So once Israel went into Gaza, they thought
Ah,
Hamas was
gotcha.
gonna defeat. And then there are channels on YouTube where if you go back in the history, you go back, to November 23, December 23, January 24. They're saying Israel is on the verge of defeat. Literally, the thumb on YouTube has in big letters, Israel. The IDF is finished. And all this stuff. And I'm thinking, all these people are watching these things, and when reality shows that they're wrong, they just continue to watch it. These are big channels. People watch them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like,
that I have definitely noticed that people don't seem to just sort of go to or at least go to the counter narrative to see if this is actually true, or even fact check it. If you're checking, if like for example, I watch a guy called Maya Tusi. He's an Iranian sort of journalist, independent journalist, and
yes,
he
he was
the
in
only
Israel
reason
recently.
yeah. I mean, he's very pro-Israeli,
Yeah.
sort of conservative. But the fact is that if he reports something, if he does it even once, something that I find that he didn't confirm, he loses my trust. I'm gonna go, I'm gonna look for someone else because I can't. I'll find it hard. I mean, I've actually called him a couple of times. He didn't lie, but it's called lie by omission, where he didn't say the other thing that he should have said about that thing, which would have countered slightly his narrative. So well, I found that, but then that's everywhere. That's this all over mainstream media, all over conservative media. They will simply not tell you certain things. They just simply leave that piece of information out, which goes against their particular narrative. So I've kind of come to accept that. But overall, for me, it's a trust thing. As soon as, and most people, I had a guy. I talked to a guy on Discord once. He said to me, "I will only watch MSNBC.
Ooh.
If MSNBC, whatever they say, I believe, and I don't need anything else." I was like, I said, you don't even watch like CNN or CNBC or anything. No, MSNBC. If whatever they tell me, I accept it. That's it. I was like, holy crap, dude, you're like boxed in. You're just like inside your tunnel, and you have no idea what else is going on because all you're doing is watching it from their perspective.
I will try to watch. Well, I watch leftists, even though they annoy me. I watch leftists all the time because they tell you about stuff you just wouldn't know about that actually is true, right? That your side just likes to hide. Because I check. Yeah, it's actually they're right. This did happen, and some of the, but I just I'm just shocked at the way the West is reacting at the moment. It's very unlike the West. It's like part of like a decline of the West. I think all this stuff. There would have been 20 years ago. There would have been no question about what America's role in the world is. It seems very confused now. Some people.
It's because people are more informed now. So, for example, Tucker Carlson, I know you didn't like what he did, but don't you think it was a pretty valid question? Him asking a congressman that's going to decide if we join a conflict or not, how many people are in Tehran, what's the population, this and that. He's asking questions that are relevant if we're going to escalate a conflict. And a lot of other people weren't willing to do that 20 years ago.
Well,
that's fair. That's fair.
That's not true. If you go back and look at interviews from 20 and 40 years ago, you see the same things. I'm pretty old, and I remember things like this happening a lot of the time. I don't think people are more informed. They are more informed about their very specific, just like this MSNBC guy. They're just informed about their specific pet subject. but they never heard any opposition to their opinion. You know, like Hitchens used to say, you all sound like people who've never considered the opposite view, right? They never looked at what the opposition says. And uh, I used to be on the left, right? I guess you're conservative. Sorry, I forgot your name. Is it Tim?
Timothy.
Timothy.
Right.
Yeah. I lean more to conservative, but here's
Yeah.
the problem where there's a fallacy with what you're saying right now, because there's more independent journalists now in mass than there were 20 years ago. A lot of these people like Tucker aren't working for Fox News anymore. They're their own. You can get more news from more sources now than you ever could. So now when you're looking at all these other people asking questions, it just kind of makes you think. And over here, a lot of people are war tired. We don't want to deal with a war in Ukraine that we're not involved in. We don't want to deal with a war over in Iran or anywhere else. We just don't want it, especially the people who are experienced and military minded. We don't want it.
No, I understand. We don't want it. You know, we're based on reservists. People literally leave their families and and their businesses and go, get called to go to war. We don't want it. More than anyone, we don't want it. But
Then why isn't there a ceasefire in Gaza, and why isn't it holding?
why is there no ceasefire in Gaza? Because we don't think it will be a good thing for us, because we've seen what happens when we let them be. We have to do something this time. It's enough. It's going to be. We're lucky that Hamas were not patient to do it at the same time with Hezbollah and people from the West, what you call the West Bank, which is, and again, it's from my point of view, calling it the West Bank is horrible. It's like offensive to me. It's like calling Ireland West England.
As in, when you say West Bank, from the Israeli perspective or from the Palestinian
The
perspective?
Gaza perspective.
Oh, from the
West Bank is what Jordan renamed Judea and Samaria, the two regions that were known as Judea and Samaria for thousands of years. That's where the name Samaritans come from, and Jews comes from Judea. There's still Samaritans, by the way, that live there. Very few, but they're still there, and they still do their thing just like they did back in the day. It's quite interesting to see if you ever visit.
I mean, essentially, Judea Samaria is where Jordan lies now.
No, it's where what do you call the West Bank? Jordan conquered it, renamed it, made all the what people call today Palestinians Jordanian citizens. So there was just one big Jordan for 20 years. And then Jordan attacked Israel in 1967 and lost the area back to Israel. And then
Well, I have a question for you.
Right.
So what would have happened if Israel just didn't attack Iran? Where would we be right now? What would have happened in these last whatever many days? Would anything have happened?
Probably not in the last few days. What would have happened is that eventually Iran would have had enough missiles and probably nukes as well, and would have declared it, and we would be stuffed, basically. And what happened, the reason it's all happening right now is we're in a position of strength, because we destroyed Hezbollah, we destroyed whatever support they had in Syria. So, the Houthis are half destroyed. Hamas are almost destroyed. They don't really have time to cause any serious harm outside Gaza. So this was an opportunity to do something that's been planned for a very long time. Because you have to understand, they keep saying they're going to destroy a country. They just keep saying it.
They're not the only country that says that, though.
No, they are. Who says they're going to destroy us?
You're not very popular in that region at all. I mean, I'm just saying, like, it's not just Iran that hates Israel.
Nobody is saying that the number one goal is to destroy Israel. Nobody. There's nobody we know of. I know of. I mean, terrorist groups, Hamas, yes, but not countries. And Iran has spent more money on this than anything else. They don't spend money on the infrastructure. They've got water shortages in the country. They're just crazy religious nuts. You have to understand. The
No, I don't
population there.
disagree there. I don't disagree there.
I mean, I'm not against religion, but they took it to the next level. And it's not a good level. We don't like it. I don't like people threatening me, and they've got their proxies attacking me, literally attacking me. They're firing at me for years, all the time. We just can't take it anymore, and it looks like they're getting close to a point where they have enough missiles and maybe nukes to a point where we will not be able to defend ourselves. I mean, it's even now it's already tricky. A country like this should not have power, and the reason it's important for America right now is if Iran has nukes, then you lose. Oh,
sorry. Let me just play this little clip, guys, whilst you guys are chatting away. Let me see if I can get it so that we can all be on there as well. Okay, let me just play this little segment.
Pledge allegiance to the Crown Prince.
همیهنان عزیزم، بسیاری از شما در پاسخ به پیامی که اخیراً به شما دادم با من تماس گرفته اید و کاملاً برای من محسوس هستش که چقدر عزم و اراده شما راسخ است. البته میدونم که رژیم اینترنت رو قطع کرده، تلفن رو قطع کرده، با امید ایجاد یأس در شما. ما باید این دیوارهای سانسور رو بشکنیم و امیدوارم که این ارتباطاتمون همچنان برقرار بمونه. میخواستم راجع به دو نکته مهم باهاتون صحبت بکنم. نخست این که اطلاعاتی که از درون کشور به من میرسه نشون دهنده این هستش که ساختارهای کنترل و اطلاعاتی نظام رو به فروپاشی است، حتی بیشتر از 2 روز پیش. و این یک علامت این هستش که نظام بیشتر و بیشتر داره شکننده میشه. البته کنار این مسئله مهمتر این هستش که جهانیان نیز متوجه دارن میشن که دیگه این نظام داره نفسهای آخرش رو میکشه و اتفاقا ارتباطاتی که اخیراً با من و تیم من گرفته شده نشون دهنده این هستش که کم کم دارن به فکر این که پس از این نظام چه باید کرد و چه اتفاقاتی در ایران میتونه بیفته با ما مشغول تبادل نظر هستن و خودم و تیمم در این مورد بسیار فعال هستیم. نکته دیگر این که بسیاری از پرسنل ارتش و همچنان از مقامات دولتی یا امنیتی آنها نیز به سهم خود به من اطلاع دادند که دارن خط خودشون رو از رژیم جدا میکنند و به زودی این رو به شکل مشهود به شما مردم نشان خواهند داد. این اهمیت اتحاد و یکصدایی همگی ماست که باعث خواهد شد نهایتاً این نظام رو شکست بدیم و پیروز بشویم. بنابراین سنگر رو ترک نکنیم، همینطور که تا به حال مقاومت کردید ادامه بدید. من به همگی شما درود میفرستم و امیدوار هستم که هر چه زودتر بتونیم در آزادی و رفاه آینده بهتری رو برای کشورمون رقم بزنیم.
Okay, guys and girls, sorry about the Iranian on that one. That was a lot of Iranian exposition. It's in a nutshell, if you didn't manage to read the subtitles, this was a message to the Iranian people from what we call the Reza Pahlavi, the Crown Prince. He's the son of the Shah of Iran, the previous Shah who died back in the 80s. But either way, in a nutshell, what he was saying was that he's already received word from the military, the army, not the IRGC, that they're looking to join essentially his cause and his movement of getting rid of the regime. But they are at the moment not prepared to show themselves, essentially bring themselves out into the forefront. But they will be once, I guess they're hedging their bets, I would imagine, to see what happens, which way the chips fall. I'll be perfectly honest, in 46 years, this has been the closest that Iranians have got to getting rid of these guys. This is hands down.
I mean, if this works out, I mean, Netanyahu is like Churchill of today. He's changed the Middle East. He's changed the map.
Yeah. He will.
I will agree with you
there.
A
hero for that.
I'll agree with you there,
but
because it will have worked.
Yeah. If this, I mean, as I said, these are major sort of there's a massive gamble, obviously, Netanyahu was taken here. But then again, with these things, with war, with revolutions, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. I'll be honest with you. Maya Tusi is a monarchist, so he absolutely wants the Shah character to come and kind of be transitional in that. I'm worried. I don't mind. I think this guy is actually better than the other options at the moment, because there are a lot of communists and socialists who actually want to come on top in Iran as well. And this was a case in '79, and I'm sure those communists are still lingering in the background in order to raise their head again once this regime falls. So I'm worried about them. But there is a particular group which I'm more worried about than any other group, which is called the Mujahideen of Kelp. And they are extremely well funded by the Americans, believe it or not, in Albania. I've been riling about this for a while now. I mentioned them. Their groups, their members are across Britain. I know some of them in Britain. I know some of them in for sure in America. And of course, the massive encampment in Albania. I am seriously worried about these guys coming and taking over. I think they are the ones that are going to be in the shadows. They're going to hide until the very last moment when the country is in some form of flux or some form of disarray. And then, bam, they'll come in and they have a substantial military capability to actually either start a civil war or crush whatever opposition they have and take over. And that's what Khomeini did in '79. Khomeini didn't take over with a massive majority of the people. He took over with a small, he took over with a small minority. He used fear and executions to solidify his position very quickly. And then there was the war with Iraq that emerged almost immediately after the '79 revolution, which then put the country even in more sort of disarray or in more of a unstable situation. And then before you know it, all the young people had died, all the people who would have caused another revolution if Khomeini didn't, if Khomeini was to be a dictator. So essentially Khomeini got rid of all of his oppositions with the communists and Mujahideen. They all fled to Iraq. He then sent all the young people that would be potential revolutionaries and sent them off to Iraq war to get killed. So he was left with his own loyalists. And 46 years later, here we are.
Fez, I got a question for you because you might know this better than me. Now, there's still an internet blackout in Iraq or in Iran right now, correct?
Yeah, it's in and out, as he was saying, as the crown prince.
So with that, how many high-profile military, like warlord level prisoners were released when they emptied that prison?
I don't know if they've emptied any prisons. We don't.
They let some prisoners out.
Yeah, I mean there may have been. Yeah, I mean there would have been definitely communist dissidents because there was a lot of communists that were still in prison. Possibly some other kind of faction.
Well, anybody we need to worry about is where I'm going with this.
No one has emerged as a clear leader of any particular group. No one is willing to put their neck out at the moment. So I think that's why I don't see a clear leadership apart from Reza Pahlavi, who lives comfortably in America, so he's well safe and well protected. Apart from him, no one else has even raised the head to say I'm willing to be a leader or take over leadership of Iran after the mullahs have gone. And this is why I'm seriously worried, because these Mujahideen guys, they are literally just as fanatical as the mullahs. They are not any better. People pretend that they're not as good. No, they're Islamists. They do have a woman as their leader, so that's a slightly better situation than maybe the mullahs. But they are just as Islamic, just as fanatical in so many ways. So no, I don't want them anywhere near Iran. And unfortunately, I think they're the ones who are going to suddenly, it'll be this, you know how Obama suddenly appeared during the 2008 elections? Like, he wasn't even a front runner. He was nothing. Nobody knew his name. Hillary was the girl to go all the way. Everybody was cheering on. And then bam, Obama just suddenly appeared out of nowhere. And just
that's not true. He actually, see, people get this misconstrued all the time. He appeared in '06. He did the speech for the one of the national conventions, and then he was there, but it was at a garage level, if that makes sense. And then people knew about him, but not everybody knew about
That's
him.
what I mean. He wasn't. I mean, come on. Compared to Hillary Clinton,
I agree. I agree. But he wasn't a total unknown, though. He wasn't a total unknown.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, it wasn't like he was like washing dishes last 1 week and then next week he was running for president. So yeah, obviously he was a governor, I believe, or yeah, wasn't he governor somewhere?
He was a senator of Illinois.
Senator. Okay. So yeah, I mean, obviously he was in there, but he was not even close to the Hillary camp and the Hillary name recognition. But to come from that and beat Hillary, although as I say, Hillary is a deeply unpopular individual herself. I think people just don't like her character. It's not even like whether she's good at politics or not. People just had a negative reaction to her. Either way, I see this group in that way. Some people, nobody's talking about them right now. Nobody seems to be even mentioning the Mujahideen of Kelp. Maya Tusi he's a royalist, so he's going to talk about the Crown Prince all the time. Other groups are talking about other things. No one's mentioning these guys, at least from the media that I'm trying to ascertain who would be the interim government. Everybody thinks that this Crown Prince is the only option, and he's not. And I think that the minute these mullahs are gone, then you'll see them emerge, and I'm deeply, deeply worried. So we'll see.
In Israel, we have lots of Persians. Some of them are, some of them grew up still in Iran. And they obviously speak the language. They have an understanding of, how things work there. So just like someone like you or people in your family are able to work out what's going on a bit better than most. So are lots of people in Israel. We have lots of those in Israel, and America has lots of Iranians. There's lots of them. Especially, I was in LA and I ended up in a birthday for one of them. So I met lots of them on that birthday party.
The thing is that I was talking to another Iranian who was born in Britain, a British, born Iranian, and he was saying, even when you talk to young Iranians, because Iran has a large proportion of actually very young people, due to the fact that a lot of the people, Gen Xs and stuff, they all pretty much got wiped out in the Iran-Iraq war. He says most of these Iranians don't even really know the Shah period. They have like this romantic stories that their parents told them, but they don't actually, none of them ever lived through the Shah period. None of them really know about it. So he's not entirely sure whether this Crown Prince is going to be really that accepted amongst the young, because they don't really know him. They don't have a relationship with him in any shape or form. And he, as I said, from my perspective, he has never been tested as a leader. This man he left Iran when he was a child or a teenager. Never been in a position of leadership as far as I know, unless he's done some amazing stuff in America, but he was never in government in America. He never ran for office in any shape or form. So I don't even know whether he's even capable of.
Well, he was talking about, when I heard him in the past, he was talking about like a monarchy, like European style, where the monarch has
constitutional monarchy.
Yeah, so like if the government is kidnapped or something, then the monarch can appoint an emergency government or something like this. But and they can go and and meet people and
Well,
and
I mean,
stuff
for
like
me,
this that
I actually don't want any type of monarchy. I don't want a British style monarchy. I don't want any monarchy. I don't believe. I mean, I myself, I'm a deeply Republican type of person anyway. If I could vote to get rid of the King Charles, I would do in a heartbeat, because I don't believe that I am lesser of a human being than Charles because he came out of a special vagina. I just don't believe in those sort of hereditary bullshit. So for me,
are you saying he's not a descendant of King David then?
I don't even care. I don't care. Just because he got squeezed out of a particular vagina does not make him better than me. I just don't care. So I find these types of things to be absolutely appalling, that people think that because some woman squeezed them out in a particular place, that somehow that elevates them above other human beings. To be honest with you, those are the type of mindsets that creates division amongst humanity, creates racism, creates bigotry, because they think they're better than you just on the mere fact that they were born and I don't buy that shit. I think I don't. That's not the way I am. But anyway, for me, I want
If
an
it
American
helps,
republic.
the thing is that people have this tendency to unite around a person, and how you manage that, there's different ways. That's all. I think America is one way, which is pretty stable. England has a different way, or the Britain has a different way, which has been pretty stable. So I wouldn't mess with it. Is what my advice is. Don't mess with it.
Well,
It
I
seems
mean,
to produce stability and whatever,
but
however it works.
so did the American Republic. So did the French Republic.
The French Republic, this is the fifth version, isn't it? They keep retrying.
That is
No.
true. That is true. The American one is better. That's why I would rather go
Yes.
for an American republic rather than a French republic. But nevertheless, I prefer republics. I prefer that there is a president. Sure, we have elected leaders. Sure, but these people are transient, and the government is always goes to the people and trusts in the will of the people to be able to run their country the best they see fit. And in all honesty, and I say that about the Iranian people, although I have a lot of faith in the Iranian people, there is a ton of morons in the Iranian communities and the Iranian.
Okay, so Hafez,
populace.
what would a vote look like right now if they tried to find a new regime? Which way do you think the people, what would they want to install at this point?
Well, the ones in the cities are gonna go for an American style or European style government, because the city
Right.
folks, they are done with Islam. They are so done with Islam.
Correct.
The rural people are going to be more religious, so they're going to want to have their religious representation, and they can potentially have a religious representation, or some people of religious persuasion in the government or in the parliament, all that stuff. You know what I mean? But not. I think fundamentally Iranians are fed up of Islam. They are done. 46 years, they've had enough of it. They don't want Islam in their life anymore. They don't want Islam dictating to them anymore. They are done. And because other Muslim countries have a rosy tinted view of Islam. They just believe that their governments were corrupt and they never implemented Islam properly. The Iranians don't have that delusion anymore. They've had it for 46 years. We're done. We're good. And so hopefully there'll be a big religious divide between government and religion. That
So
is
check
the
this.
war.
Check this number. So in 1950, only 27% of Iranians lived in cities. Today, it's 75% live in cities. So when you say people in cities, not everybody in the city for sure, but a lot of them, yeah.
Oh yeah.
My experience meeting Iranians is they're very Western in the way of thinking.
Yes.
There is a difference. It's a bit like Israelis. There is a difference. There is something unique about them, but they don't seem to be like.
A lot of people ask me, like, how easy was it for me to assimilate, for example, into British life? Apart from the weather, which to this very day I despise. The weather is just too shit. It's just, there's too much rain, too much fog. I've never equalized with that. But everything else, I was a European before I came to Europe, because I loved everything about the way Europeans lived. I loved their, not just their society, but their fundamental ethos, their philosophy of life, their philosophy of freedoms, individual rights, things like that. I was, those were the things I was already in line with. So for me, it was like, you take a fish out of a fishbowl and put him in a pond. It's the same. It didn't feel like I was in any way, except I was freer. I was in a much more open society. But I fundamentally agreed with British life. I wasn't one of these Muslims. When you talk to Muslims in this country, they believe that they can fix Britain. They're not here to live with amongst the British. They're here to fix the British, because the shit they have is better than what the British have. I'm not here to fix the British. I'm here to be with the British.
And that's a natural thing. If you think about it, that's exactly what America tried to do in the Middle East and in other places where it went. It tried to fix those places and make them like America, because it works for America, so it must work for you. If you just try it, it's great. But so it's not you arrive at that those places, how
Mm.
of thinking about individual rights in that way. It's a process. You can't switch it on in people.
Yeah,
You can't
absolutely.
give them a lecture and
Absolutely.
say, right, here we go, we're doing it now. It doesn't
Even
work like this.
even with Iran, I will say this: even with Iran, even if we set up a republic, a democratic republic like the Americans, and even have a constitution, I literally at the beginning of the show said, for as far
Yes,
as I'm concerned, you can copy and paste the American constitution and just make it Iranian if they want, but there will still be a definitive Iranian republic. It will have Iranian cultural norms embedded in that republic. So it wouldn't be an American republic. It will still be an an Iranian form of republic, following maybe the blueprint of the Americans. But people fundamentally, Bruce Lee says this with martial arts. He says, absorb what is useful, ignore, repel what is useless, and add what is essentially your own. And that is what I want for Iran. I want the Iranians to take the American model, absorb the useful, reject the useless, and add their cultural twist to it, and make it their own republic. And that's what everyone should really
See,
look for.
Fez, what you just said, why I think this is all a game. I think that America's looking for a partner and Israel's looking to neutralize the situation. And I think that it's going to have byproducts that I don't want a part of.
I was going to
Maybe.
say, what I was going to say earlier is one of the reasons, or possibly the biggest reason America is so wealthy. If you look at the American GDP, it's very high compared to other countries. And part of the reason it's very high is because of the status of the dollar. No other country can print dollars, can print, if Britain has debt and they need to pay it, they can only print so much. If they print too much, they have inflation. America can print almost as much as it wants because it's the international currency and people always want to buy dollars outside America. And the reason it's an international currency is because of your navy. And if you allow countries to attack your allies and to attack your assets, which includes all the oil countries in the Middle East, or anyone who you decide is your friend, and you decided, is your friend basically. If your friend is being attacked and you don't turn up to do something about it, then it means you're not as powerful as people think, and gradually people do more and more and more and more, and to the point where you don't really have the control that you think you have. And the countries that are trying to replace the American dollar and are already working on it for decades, trying to replace the American dollar, they will manage, and then you won't be able to pay your debt. And then
Yeah, but the euro's already doing better than the dollar, and it has been for some time.
No, Americans are just much better off than Europeans. They just
The
are.
euro's been beating it. Listen, I lived in Europe for 6 months last year, and the euro was beating the crap out of the dollar the whole time. Has been for some time.
But I'm talking about the standard of living that Americans on average have is much higher than the European average. It's just
I lived better in Vienna than I did over in the United States, though.
okay. Maybe in your case, if you look at the average, okay, I mean these stats are available. Then American standard of living is just higher. They have, everything is bigger, more expensive. They buy the bigger models of everything. The cars the Europeans buy, most of them Americans don't even bother with. They have the bigger models, the more expensive models.
I have to push back because America has a lot of third world looking inner cities. Like there's a lot of really bad neighborhoods. There's a lot of poor people in America, man.
I know. I've been to some of them, a couple of them. I've seen places where in America where there used to be proper cities, and now there's like houses with trees growing through the house.
And that's not a small scale. I mean, that's a lot of places in America look like that now.
I know. In Detroit, a house that used to cost $500,000, you can buy for what, $100, or nobody wants to move because there's no services. You can't get, you can't get running water there anymore. You can't get, anything there. So it's all crazy. Yeah, I know about all this, but even take all that into account. When you look at the average, still, like it or not, a lot of the power that America has financially is because of the strength of the dollar and because it's an international currency. And the reason it's an international currency You deal with Saudi to only trade in dollars, and that basically solidified the dollar, and you could go for the gold reserve and all this business. So, yeah, no matter how poor you think some places are, they will be a lot poorer if you lose that status of international currency. That is definitely bad news for America. And so it's not direct. That's why I don't think American soldiers should be risking their lives in Iran at this stage. But to drop a bomb on the facility, I don't see a reason why not.
See?
You tell me. I mean, that's my thinking. I don't have. I cannot decide for you. I'm just giving an opinion. Tell me why not.
No, I
Tell me
mean,
what you think.
I hear where you're coming from, but you're saying it in just like it's just not a big deal.
Well,
It's
it is.
definitely a big.
It's actually it's America showing that it still runs the show, and you don't mess with America. You can only take it so far, and if you start messing with America, this is what happens, and it solidifies your status in the world. So it
No,
has
sir.
two sides to it.
Sir,
Sorry,
there's a
gentlemen, let me
big
just
difference in
introduce-
helping. Oh, sorry.
So let me just introduce Lieutenant. Hello, Lieutenant. I'm sorry I didn't see you backstage. I hope you weren't there too long. But yeah, guys, this is a lady. We call her Lieutenant. It's just a thing.
Hello,
But
Lieutenant.
go ahead. She's not actually in the army.
Oh.
It came out as a
Evening,
long
ma'am.
story. It's a long story.
I'm still saluting.
No, listen, sir, there's a big difference
Give me your
between helping
opinion.
a friend who got attacked and then jumping in because my friend decided to sucker punch somebody. There's a big difference.
No, I don't think nobody decided anything. It's all under everything that happens and happens under American supervision. Everything that is happening.
No, I think Israel's a dog off the leash at this point, and they're just doing what they want. And when they bite somebody, we're just kind of like, yeah, it's our dog, but you can't sue us. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
When we do it, it's pretty clear. So we did it with Biden over Rafah. Biden said, "Don't."
Biden wasn't in charge. Doesn't count. Doesn't
So
count.
we did, and yeah, I mean, this sort of operation would not happen without American approval.
That's not true.
Not
Even
this sort
if
of
we
thing.
went against it, if we went against it and they still did it, what would we do? We wouldn't be able to do anything. If Trump said, wait to negotiate, wait till they come to the table, Israel said no, and then Israel went ahead with it, what would we be able to do about it? Nothing.
Yeah, you could make it more difficult. It seems Trump wants to actually do it, and I think he probably will do it.
There's a difference between having no choice after it happened to just take that side, and then we can't say for sure we were on the side of Israel attacking Iran. We can't say that for sure, but we have to go with it now. We don't have a choice.
Well, you do have a choice. I mean,
No, you don't.
I can see your point. I just think that if America lets this one get away, it will show a level of weakness that will invite attacks elsewhere. I think at some point America does have to run the world. Someone has to, and if it's not America, I don't know who it will be, and I don't like that option. I like America. I think on the whole, America is a good country. It's got lots of things that I don't like, but on the whole, it's as good as it gets. Basically, I don't think there's a country that can claim to be better than America. So I prefer America running the show.
Gentlemen,
Either America or Britain.
Yeah, let me bring in Lieutenant here. She's just come in. Lieutenant, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
Awesome. Yes, please go ahead. I'm sorry if you were sitting in the back for too long. I didn't notice. I didn't notice it. But go ahead. What do you think?
No worries. I wasn't there too long. I have missed out on a lot of what you have been saying thus far, but just going off the past few minutes, I was pondering whether America should get involved, should support Israel or not.
Well, I mean, what are your thoughts? I mean, would you like that? Would you not want that? What are your opinions on that?
Well, I think if we're talking about bringing Iran, like the Islamic regime, down, then yeah, I want to see an end to that regime. I want to see an end to Islam full stop in the world, like, because I think it's just not right. I think it's a death cult. So yeah, if that would bring it to a stop, then yeah, I want to see
Well,
that happen.
what if this becomes a quagmire like Iraq and Iran? America gets bogged down, and we have we have to put troops on the ground.
I'll look at the Trump administration and all the people that are working with them, all the different parts of the government and the military and everything, as much better managed. So I really don't think that it would turn out like that. In the past, it would turn out like that because that's how they wanted it to turn out. Trump doesn't want it to turn out like that. He doesn't have anyone working for him who wants it to turn out like that, so it wouldn't turn out like that.
Okay. But would you?
You can't guarantee that.
Would you be willing to have America put troops in Iran if to get rid of this regime if it doesn't if they simply don't go with the aerial bombing?
For the sake of the Iranian people and the future of Iran and bringing the world into a better place without Islam, yes.
Interesting.
I don't want to see any war happening, by the way, but if that's what it's going to come to, then yeah, I still think America is top dog and is growing ever stronger all the time because of the Trump administration. And so if anyone's going to be able to do it, it's going to be them.
Interesting. How about the interim, like replacement governments? Any thoughts on that?
Well, I don't know what options they have in places like Iran. As long as it's not Islamic and there's definitely no terror links, then it's got to be a way forward, surely.
Interesting. All right. Timothy, any thoughts
I
on what
can tell
Lieutenant
you
just
that
said?
the military is not as strong as it used to be from a personnel perspective. We got a lot more weaker people in there. Everybody's way gayer than they used to be and way weaker, and they had to change a lot of standards. No, this is factual. You can look this stuff up.
Yeah,
And
and
right
Man,
now,
I've seen
you
some
guys
gay
are
guys who
looking.
can kick ass.
You guys are looking at it from a perspective of we'll just fly F-35s over and it'll be all good. Okay, well, what happens when we run out of that option and we have to actually fight this thing out? We're not as strong as we used to be 10, 20 years ago. Listen, if we would have did this while we were fighting Iraq and Afghanistan, it would have made the most sense, and we would have just put our strongest people on it. Special forces doesn't look like it used to. A lot of the top guys aren't even in special forces anymore. They're retired and they're contractors now. So you guys aren't looking at this from a personnel perspective. I am. I don't care about the technology. I care about the brain behind the machine. And I can tell you we're not as strong as we used to be.
Yeah, all of that, the DEI, the alphabet people and all of that, that's all been removed.
Look,
Yeah,
It doesn't
Trump
matter.
removed-
It still has residual effects. It doesn't matter.
Tim,
hang on,
I've
hang
seen
on.
some queens with their high heels, and they could do some damage. They
Well,
could
yeah.
do some when they start swinging those high heels. You don't want to be anywhere near that.
He hasn't been partying in London, has he?
You gotta come down to London Pride.
Oh my God.
See
Oh, man.
what they do with those assless chaps. You fly some of them with those his mullahs. They go running.
I've been to London one time.
them in
I've
the
been to
ground.
London once. I had a great time.
Put them in the cannons, that's what I say.
That's what I mean, man. That's what I mean. You get some of those LGBTs down there going, oh no, you didn't. Those
it's
mullahs
just
don't
not
know what
funny,
hit
but
them.
You've got to laugh.
The funny thing is, Iran is actually only second to what was it, Thailand for bottom surgery for trans women.
Really?
Because Iran made it somehow through some twisted psychotic interpretation. Ayatollah Khomeini, the first supreme leader, he made it legal that if he decided essentially through some conversation he had with a gay person that sometimes Allah puts a woman's brain in a man's body, And if a man wants to be a woman, then the government would partially fund their transition operation. And so Iran has been funding, government funding, transitional operations for gay people for decades now, and they are very good at it now. They're second. I said they're second to Thailand. But the problem is they don't. These people who do the transitional operation, most of them, in fact, I think nearly all of them, are not volunteering for this. The options are you can either transition into a woman, or you can be hung. Those are your choices.
Yo.
Because
these
you
are the
can't-
people we're dealing with.
Yeah,
You
you,
know,
can't
in-
live
in-
as a gay man in Iran. Being gay, homosexuality, is the punishment for that is death.
Is the
And
roof?
so-
It's off the roof.
Well, it's the roof, the hanging. I mean, they hang them by
They hang them,
you know,
they hang
yeah,
them.
via crane anyway. But either way, the
Public.
punishment for that is death. So you cannot be a homosexual. You can be a man who became a woman and live as a heterosexual woman from that point onwards, but you cannot be a homosexual in Iran. And so a lot of homosexuals who were found to be homosexuals and they were put to execution, they had the option of becoming a woman, and so they took
Yeah.
it.
And also, during the war with Iraq, they sent children to clear minefields.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they-
yeah.
I
mean,
myself,
you know,
I would have been one of those
Israelis-
children. Yeah, I would have
Yeah.
been one of those children, because I would have, if I'd gone back to Iran about 2 years after I came to Britain, 2 or 3 years, it would have been illegal for me to leave Iran until I've done military service, which would have been at 14. Well, actually, no, it would have been about 3-4 years, afterwards. But either way, I would have gone to military at 14. One of my friends was on the front lines of the Iran-Iraq war because he was a communist dissident during the revolution. So they captured him and his friends, tortured them like you wouldn't believe. Unbelievable tortures. They took iron rods. They take those iron rods that they use for building constructions and stuff.
Rebar.
They take them, gridiron things, those bars, iron bar things. They would take that and heat one end, so it's like white hot, and then they would insert it into the person. And when my friend was describing one of his friends, he had holes in his body like his belly button, that size holes, all over his chest, because that's how they tortured them. Anyway, he was on the front lines of that war. Literally, he said I was here and the Iraqis were there shooting at each other. And he saw these martyred brigades, which were like 12-year-olds, 14-year-old kids, where they would give them these plastic keys, which were keys to heaven. And they would have the same kind of wraparound, the ones that Hamas has on their kids, the green bandana thing, they wrap around. Same shit. They would give them that, they wrap them out like that, and then they would send them across minefields to clear minefields. That's what they did to kids. Yeah. I mean, there's a whole host of other stuff. There's nightmarish stories. I mean, the shit he told me, if you put that in a movie, people wouldn't believe it. They were like, nah, that's
So when
that's
these
not- that
people
can't be right.
threaten that they're going to kill us, and they finance all these groups around us and give them arms and give them missiles so they can kill us, and they've got hundreds of thousands of missiles pointing at us, we start getting nervous.
Yeah,
know?
yeah. No, I mean, the Iranian regime, what they did during the Iraq war was unbelievable. I mean, it's a horror stories that you wouldn't be able to write about. The stuff that they did to dissidents, the people like my friend who was like a communist kind of person, they either killed you. I mean, killing you was a mercy, to be honest with you. Just shooting you is the best possible option you could have, because them torturing you for years sometimes is 100 times worse. So yeah, and not to mention the stories he was telling me about the chemical bombs that Saddam was throwing in the Iranian direction, stuff that were unbelievable. He says this stuff, I don't know what it was, or some sort of chemical weapon. If it got on your skin would immediately start to blister, and then that
It was
blister would
mustard
burst.
gas.
Yeah, it must have been mustard gas. And then it would start another blister. Anywhere it hits you, it starts that. Oh, dude, horrific shit, horrific stuff. I mean, as I say, things are nightmares. But unfortunately, this is what I mean. That's why no Iranian has any love for these mullahs. No Iranian really does. I mean, there are crazy idiots who get funded by them, but no one who's ever suffered through the 80s and 90s with the Iranian regime has
It's
any
basically a terrorist group that took over a country.
Pretty much, yeah. This is why Maya Tusi calls them the occupiers. He doesn't he doesn't call them the Iranian regime. He just calls them the occupiers. As we feel like we've been occupied by these lot, because a lot of the stuff that they talk about and a lot of the stuff they do is antithetical to Iranian culture. They wanted to take away a lot of our Zoroastrian practices because they considered it, Zoroastrian and pagan and all that. But these things we've been doing for thousands of years, for at least like 2,000-3,000 years, the celebration of our New Year. You see, we don't celebrate our New Year the way the Muslims do. That Eid that the Muslims celebrate isn't the Iranian Eid.
Is it Nowruz?
Yeah, Eid al-Nowruz, which is the 21st, 21st of March. And we have multiple other practices around that time.
We copied a lot of them.
Yeah, Charshamba Suri. Well, you see, the thing is, you said you were from Iraq, Mossad.
Yes.
And the Iraqis were part of the Persian empire.
Of course,
so you guys practiced a lot of the stuff we practice. A lot of the Uzbekistani people practice our Nowruz and a lot of the Persian stuff, because wherever the Persian Empire was, a lot of the cultural stuff got mixed in as well.
But the thing is that the second temple was built by Jews that came from Persia under Cyrus. Right. So when they came from Persia, they brought with them a lot of Persian culture, words, food, religious ideas, philosophical ideas, and all that got mixed into Judaism. Today, it's Judaism, but actually, if you research it, you find lots of things. You think, oh, I recognize this.
This is the thing. This is why us Iranians, I was saying it on Sunday at Speaker's Corner, Iranian Jews are as much integral to Iranian society as Persian Iranians are, as Turkish Iranians are. You are Iranian. We don't parse. We don't separate ourselves between Jewish Iranians, Persian Iranians, whatever. Nobody even asks that question. The most thing people ask is like, which part of Iran do you live when you came to Britain? That's literally the only question I've ever cared about when people ask, when Iranians meet other Iranians. The other thing I want to tell you, Mossad, I was talking to another one of these Palestinian protesters again on Sunday. These sort of Arab and Kurdish and these sort of people, and they were telling me about how these European colonizers came to Israel and occupied Israel and Palestine, took over Palestine. I'm like, really, Europeans? Oh yeah, they all came from Germany and Lithuania and Poland. And I'm like, I talked to a guy who's an Iraqi who's an Iraqi Jew. I was talking about you.
Yes.
I was like, do you know how many Iranians went to Israel? How many Iraqis went to Israel? Are they Europeans as well? Are they all European Jews?
We have more Moroccans than anything else, really.
Yes. This is what I mean. Like this narrative of Europeans came over and took over Palestine. I'm like, dude, you have no idea the ethnic consistency of Israel.
In a way, I get the point, because the early Israelis, most of them were from Europe. But,
the Ashkenazis?
Yeah.
As they call them.
Today an Ashkenazi Jew who lives in Los Angeles is repeating ceremonies that come from ancient Persia that the Persians forgot. And they're still doing that. They're still using Persian words that the Persians forgot, or if they didn't forget, they don't use anymore, right?
Yeah.
Because they're considered like ancient. But the Jews, they've bits of Persian culture that we've archived and put it into our system, and it's spread through that into Christianity as well. So Persian culture has influenced the whole world in ways people forget.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. It's because it's so many thousand. I mean, it's at least 2,000. I think when Cyrus gave asylum to the Jews, it's like 2,000 years ago at least.
2.5.
Yeah, that kind of time span. As human beings, I don't think we can actually really imagine.
That was a world-changing event, if you think about it. If he didn't do it, there wouldn't be Christianity, and maybe there wouldn't be Islam either. right? Because
So
there wouldn't be any of what we
they
know.
wouldn't.
I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they would, because if there is a God, God would have found another way, but to do it, right? But at least
Yeah.
not the way we know it.
Well,
Would have
exactly. Nothing
happened.
would have unfolded. But what I'm saying is, I don't think people comprehend that kind of time span. This is why I think a lot of people find evolution very hard to grasp. Or
Yes.
when we talk about the universe, cosmology, these are massive numbers that, as human beings with our short lifespan, we really can't comprehend. These millions and millions of years, billions of years. These are just too big a numbers for us to get our brain around. And for that reason, we lose track of what went on. Like you just said, an Ashkenazi Jew who's practicing Persian practices using words that Iranians don't even use anymore, because some of Iranian words have been now replaced with things like French and Arabic words and Turkish words. So even Iranian, like our Persian is a diluted Persian. It's not the Persian of the old. Funnily enough, the Afghanis are the ones who use true Persian when they speak Farsi than Iranians, because
Right.
their Persian hasn't been diluted by all these other countries and occupying sort of empires and all of these other things. Because Iran, being where it is, it got occupied quite a lot of times over this, this couple of thousand
Yes.
years. The Turks, from the Ottomans, the Arabs, and I don't know where the hell the French influence came in, but there's a French influence in Iran. So because the second language that was taught in schools was French.
I
In
think
Iran.
because you had like a king, early 20th century that visited
Yeah.
Paris and was like blown away. So that's the best. We have to do this. Whatever they're doing, we do this.
Yeah, I think so.
So they build lots of stuff that looks French, and yeah.
The funny thing is, and now I don't want to know if with all due respect to my American friend Timothy, when I was talking to an Iranian because he's big on Persian history, and we were talking about like America, and he's like, when we talk about America, it's like we're talking about a toddler, and he's like puffing out his chest, and he's all like, yeah. I'm like, dude, you're still a baby. We for the rest of the world have been around a long time.
That's true. That's very
we were
true.
making beer when America wasn't even like thought of. And so this is why sometimes it's hard for the old world to take American bravado a little bit seriously, because because I hear it all the time, and actually more often it's like, if America fell, the world would fall apart, then nothing would live, everyone would die. I'm like, dude, the world was around a long time before America was around. America is a tiny portion of human history. Don't get me wrong, wonderful place. I love Americans. I love their ideas. I love what the founding parents did with that country. They did something no other country was doing at the time with their republic. And I'd be honest, I think it's a testimony to their genius that America is where it is today. But the world would not end if America didn't exist. I can promise you that it will be fine. We'll get along. We'd make it. We'd make it work, because we've been around a long time. Some of us are. There are pubs. Oh, here's the thing. Sorry, one final thing. There is a pub in London that's older than America. There is a pub in London that's, I think, like 500 years old.
Wow.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, we find coins from 2,500 years ago. I guess you find Roman coins in Britain.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Roman,
Yeah.
Viking bits and bobs, all sorts
Yeah.
of all the Celts, obviously. But yeah, I mean, as I said, there's a pub, there's a bar in England that's older than, and actually, I don't think there's just that one. There's several like 500-year-old ale houses and stuff. That's the thing. But the thing is, there's a line from Ben-Hur. Masala says to Ben-Hur, a wise man knows the world in which he lives in, and the world today is Rome. And today for us, the world is America. That is our empire.
Yes.
That is our superpower. It is what it is. We live in this world and we accept it. And to be honest with you, I would rather for it to be America than China, than Russia. I mean,
Yeah, of
what the
course.
hell? You think his life would be better under those guys? Hell
And
no.
you know, two interesting things. A point I made earlier is that all these anti-war people, well, I don't even think they're anti-war. They're just, I don't know what's going on with their minds, but they're reducing Trump's leverage in negotiations and around the world because he seems to not have a united front, right?
It
So all
appears
these
as if-
people with all
Yeah,
this
but
anti-war talk, they
20
should know that they may be anti-war, but they should be playing the part along.
look though,
That's
I get it. 21 years, 24 years of almost continuous warfare. America's been involved in some kind of theater somewhere.
they've been involved
Iraq,
in war
Afghanistan.
forever.
But I know, and I think that
Look
they're
at the
just- they're
Afghanistan
done.
withdrawal. That's my only counter to that. Look at the Afghanistan withdrawal. And that's why we don't want any more of this. It didn't work out. We left over billions of dollars of equipment over there now that the Taliban is using. And it's like we were never even there. It didn't even work.
Yeah, well, in Afghanistan, it was pretty predictable. Same in Iraq. By the way, Sharon, our prime minister at the time, told Bush that Iraq will be a mess before they went in.
Yeah.
So what's going to be different now?
It's a very different place.
I see we're repeating the same thing that we did from 2002 to 2003 to start of the new Iraq-Afghanistan war. I don't see anything different. I really don't.
I mean, if you speak to people, Iranians, about their country, I think you realize it's different. But I accept your point that we don't know. Okay, yeah, we don't know how it will turn out. You're right.
So Saddam wasn't doing some of the same bad stuff that this Iranian regime was doing. He wasn't doing stuff in a similar context.
Yes, but the country was different. So we're dealing with very different people.
I mean
I'll agree
that
there.
is the hope.
I'll agree there.
The thing is, Timothy, that is the gamble. Essentially, is that the Iranians will come together and will build a society and a nation differently to the Iraqis and the Afghanis. I'll be honest, Afghanistan isn't ready for a democracy anyway. I mean, Afghanis are deeply Muslim, and the Taliban, which are the Pashtun, are fanatically religious. And also they've been fighting since the 80s with Russia, and so that's like it's all they know. They don't even know
That Rambo 2?
outside of
Is that the second Rambo or the third Rambo?
Yeah, Rambo 3, the
The
Mujahideen.
three, yeah.
Yeah, but what I mean is they have a vastly different culture, yes, and so do the Iraqis. But the Iraqis were sophisticated. The Iraqis had cities and civilization, and it wasn't like they were running around on donkeys and camels. The Afghans literally were. The mobile infantry, when America went in to fight Afghanistan, the mobile infantry was on horseback. For the love of God. I mean, talk about bring a spoon to a gunfight. They were fighting
Well, hold on. In some of those regions, the only way to get around is a mule or a horse.
Yeah,
to be fair.
Yeah,
To be
but
fair.
But what I mean is, as far as like actual warfare, of course, America would be able to, and they did. They took over the country overnight, but they couldn't hold on to it.
We got missiles right now.
The missiles coming over to you, to Israel.
Yeah, just got an alert.
Oh, man. Well, hey, listen, my dinner bell's ringing. I got to hop off. Mr. Mossad, I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope I didn't offend you in any way. I really enjoyed this discourse. Okay. And hopefully we continue this again. And I hope you're safe over there. I hope everything works out. I'm not anti-Israel. I want peace, essentially, and I know that we have a different mindset of how that looks or how to achieve that, but I hope everything works out for you and you're safe over there.
Appreciate it.
Definitely, Mr. Mossad. If you have to get to anywhere, go.
No, it's not where I am, but it's
it's coming
Tel Aviv,
Timothy, love you, man.
Hafez, I'll see you soon. Banksy, good to see you again.
God bless, Timothy.
Right.
Take care.
Bye. There's nothing where I am so far.
So you're okay. You're safe.
For now. We had the other day, not today.
I
They
mean,
decided to skip us.
it's up to you guys. If you guys want to, Lieutenant, I know you didn't have a lot of chance to speak. I wanna I want to say like maybe another half an hour, or if you guys want to keep going, or if not,
I don't.
I can
I'm
kill it.
cool. I can,
Because I'm an
cool.
hour
I'm
and
doing
35 minutes in, and most people don't even watch past. Sorry, I'm 2 hours and 35 minutes in, and most people don't even watch past the first hour. So,
How
so
many people are watching right now?
we're well into the about 20 people, but I'm
We're
well. We're well.
massive.
Oh yeah, we're massive. We're massive. We're taking over YouTube. But no,
So
it's
you can
just.
watch it. I don't know if it's copyright or not,
Oh yeah.
but so it's up to you. But I
Where
can
is
try
it?
to put the link
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
chat.
Drop me a link. Drop me a link. Let me see.
Does it let me post links
Let me see.
in the
Let me
chat?
see. Let me
I
see.
just
Let me see.
posted it. I don't know if it
Make you.
does. Or do I do it in
Well,
the?
it's 1:45 in the morning, actually, isn't it? And it's
It
been
is.
hot
It is.
all
I got to
week,
literally get
so
up at 7 a.m. Mr.
yeah.
Mossad, put something in the text because I don't think you're an actual admin on the Harvest thing. I think you're an admin on the other one.
I
Just
put
say
it on the
hi.
private chat.
Oh, you put it on the private. All right. All right. Yeah. Say
Yeah.
something in the regular chat so I can actually make you an admin. Actually, no. No, I don't see you. Yeah, no, it's gone. But just say something. Yeah, just put something in the regular chat, please.
I feel important.
Yeah, you should. It's a great honor and responsibility. It's like the Queen. Um, what the hell is this? Oh Christ Almighty! I can't actually make you an admin because I'm not logged in under my own thing.
Doesn't matter. I'll
It's
send
alright.
you
Sorry. Let me do the chat and then
link
I'll do it
anyway. But I
later.
don't
I'll
know
do it
if
in a
you're
minute.
allowed to watch it on stream.
What is it? What is it?
It's live cams showing Israel right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
let
I've
me
opened
see.
it up. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cams on screen.
Yeah. These sort of things are okay usually. Usually we're okay. Intel cam. Oh, Intel cams. Yeah, I follow these guys actually. Okay, hold on. Let me put this thing.
I don't see anything. Not you don't always see the stuff, right? It depends. Well, I've got like an early warning 4 minutes ago.
4 minutes ago. At the moment there's a siren, but all is calm and quiet. Let me put this thing as a full. Oh,
That
Calm
means
before the
missiles are
storm.
on the way, or
Or
it could be
on the
a
way, or
drone
it
attack.
could be a
there's an
drone
there's an
attack.
echo.
Yeah, it
There's an
happens
there's an
when it's
echo.
Yeah, I'm
yeah, it
sorry.
happens when
Every time I share my screen, an echo comes up. It's horrific.
Oh, okay.
Bear with me. Let me see if I can
Oh, okay.
actually get this. Yeah, I can't actually get this thing to fit the screen because there we go. That's the best I can do. At the moment, all is calm, all is quiet. There's nothing coming over.
oh, stream will go offline soon. It says
Oh,
running
stream will
stream.
go offline soon.
What
It
does it mean
says
off
running
data?
stream. Which
What does
stream?
it mean
Oh,
off data? I don't
oh,
understand.
this
I don't understand.
your stream or my stream?
No, it says at the top of the screen of
No, it
those
says at the
cams.
top of the screen of those cams. Oh, running stream off data. Stream will go offline. So, no, I see. Issues with internet service provider. Well, at the moment, nothing's happening. Please stay safe, Mr. Mossad. Go wherever you need to go.
No, well, I
If
don't have a
you're
warning where.
in any sort of worries. But you're not in a city, are you? Are you kind of on the outskirts?
Yeah, I'm in a small town.
Yeah, I'm in a small town. Okay. Hopefully we'll pass you by because I think most of the time they're going to target the big cities, right?
Yeah, that targets around
Yeah,
where I
that
am as well. But
targets around where I am as well. But
sometimes
yeah,
they come
Jerusalem.
my way.
Sometimes they come my way. South Israel, Tel Aviv, Haifa area. We've got a couple of Haifa. Then Eilat.
Elat,
Eliat.
yeah, that's in the south.
Elat. Yeah, that's in the south. Yeah,
They
these are the
also try
camps.
to hit
They also try to hit
near Hadera, which is
near
where there's a big power
Hadera, which is
station
where there's a big power
and a gas
station
depot.
and a gas depot. Of course, yeah, that's the thing as well. It's not just the cities that they're not they're after like infrastructure stuff. as well.
and
Such a
they've got in Israel. Well, it's
in
outside
Israel.
Israel. It's
Well,
in the sea.
it's outside
Is
Israel. It's in the sea.
gas fields,
Mm.
right?
Gas fields,
So
right?
I'm
Oh,
sure
I
they're
see.
trying to
So
attack those as
I'm
well.
sure they're trying to attack those as well.
People keep saying free Palestine. We
People keep
have
saying free Palestine. We
1948.
have
We freed it.
1948.
It's done. Sorted.
We freed it. It's
Any
done. Sorted.
any so like
It's been free.
this Palestine scam.
Yeah, I'm trying to get
There's
this.
Palestine scam.
Unfortunately,
Had
I'm
enough
running.
of
Yeah,
it.
unfortunately, I'm running this thing on a what do you call it? This kind of vertical mode.
Yeah.
And vertical mode is actually
Yeah.
really crap for viewing things like properly.
Well, I don't see
Unfortunately,
anything.
I was trying
Well,
to
I
like
don't see anything.
get those shorts.
It's 8 minutes. They may have got it.
views.
It's 8 minutes. They may have got it. So it's like
Yeah, they may have hit it. There's nothing
so
going on.
it's like
Oh, one of the cameras went down. Oh, it's the stream went down anyway.
yeah.
Looks like
Yeah.
the stream just went.
Yeah,
it's
there's other
buffering.
channels like this.
Okay.
There's other channels like this. I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
So will America
ladies and
attack
gentlemen,
Iran?
thank you
Will
so much.
America attack
My
Iran? My prediction is
Will America attack
what I
Go
said
for it.
earlier. Trump will wait to see how it's going, and if he thinks it's needed, he will drop that big bomb on that Fordo place.
Yeah.
Right. I'm
That
out, fellas.
Main. Miss Lieutenant, just before you go, your final thoughts.
Yeah. I'm not sure I have any. It's all still up in the air. I mean, which way is it going to go? I just hope that, the Israeli people are going to be safe, the Iranian people are going to be safe, and the tyrannical regimes are took out and took to trial, military tribunals, international military tribunals, and dealt with properly. Like none of the past managements in governments in America have done it properly by design, as far as I'm concerned. So I just hope that I'm right, that Trump and all the people that he's choosing are going to do it properly.
Awesome.
By the way,
Thank
big
you.
news. Sneeko is an 8th Jew. Turns out.
Are you kidding me? He did a DNA test.
Yes.
Oh, that's going to be awesome with his Muslim buddies. Oh my God! Sorry, Lieutenant, if you don't know Sneeko, do you know who Sneeko is?
Yes, I do. I don't watch his stuff though.
No,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I think only degenerates watching.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't follow his stuff, but he was in London. I spoke to him very briefly when he was a speaker's
You
corner.
did?
Yeah. I didn't have time really to try and ask him. But admittedly, the Christians did grill him a little bit. Chris is a Christian guy. Chris, he actually talked to him about it.
saw a
And
clip.
actually invited him to Christianity.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
sorry, you were
just all
saying?
a laugh. It's just all nonsense. The guy, he's just
Yeah.
cool. They're in Dubai. They're living the life, whatever.
They're living a rich, wealthy, comfortable, affluent life. They don't give a crap.
Yes.
The funny thing is, I'm watching right now, which I will, once I finish it, I will do a show about it. Andrew Tate has an interview with Bonnie Blue. I don't know if you know who Bonnie Blue is.
No.
You don't know? Okay, Bonnie
No.
Blue is a famous adult actress, and
Okay.
she's on OnlyFans, and she had coitus with 1,057 men in 12 hours.
Whoa.
That's kind of her fame, her claim to fame at the moment.
Wow.
But she's a very, very wealthy OnlyFans girl. And
It's like
anyway,
a rabbit.
yeah, oh my God, yeah, it's insane. She is utterly nuts when it comes to this kind of stuff. But she's having this. There's an interview with her and Andrew Tate on a guy who called Rob Moore. He did this thing between. It's hilarious.
Oh, yes, I know Rob Moore.
Yeah, in that case, have a watch of it if you want to. I mean, I don't recommend the whole hour and what is it, like 2 hours and 28 minutes. It's 2.5 hour thing, but the first good 40 minutes is very funny because there's this passive aggressive attitude towards each other. Although Andrew pretends that he likes her, but he finds her repulsive and disgusting on every possible level ever. Especially he's a Muslim as well. But they have this passive aggressive thing going on the whole time. It's hilarious. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go finish watching that, and then get up at 7 a.m. because I got things to do on a Saturday. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
It will be even funnier if it's on the mom's side, because that means he's Jewish, even if he doesn't want it. So people would start trolling him, you know. Mazel tov, and
that would be brilliant.
It'd be so funny.
I'm gonna have to write that down and remember it for when if I ever see him again in London. Just gotta bring that up. Have you ever seen a movie called The Infidel?
I've not seen that. No. Good night and God bless. So anyway, good night.
Good night, my love. There's a movie called The Infidel. It's Omid Jalili, who's an Iranian comedian, and he's actually Baha'i. But he in the movie he's a Muslim. He grew up in a Muslim family. He goes to mosque every Friday. He's a really Muslim. He finds out he was adopted and he's actually Jewish. Great movie. Definitely watch it if you can. Take care, my good sir. Have a great night. Please be safe, and I'll talk to you the next time I do a live.
There's been there's nothing so far, but the incident has ended.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah, they're just saying the incident has ended. Okay, good.
Excellent. Well, either way, in the next few weeks,
and $250 million gone.
Yeah. It's true. They cost hundreds of millions of dollars as well. It's unbelievable the cost of this thing. But yeah, please stay safe, sir, and I will talk to you next time.
Take care. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's the end. The end is nigh, and now the end is near. Final thoughts. My final thoughts are I just want this regime gone. There was an actual attack because there's a little encampment in front of the Iranian embassy right now by Iranian, dissident Iranians, if you will, those who want to get rid of the regime. There's a little encampment in front of the Iranian embassy, which it's like 99% I want to attend it, at least for an hour if I can tomorrow. But I've got a lot of things in the morning that I have to do before I can get there. So that's my plan. If you're around, do keep an eye on this. If you haven't liked and subscribed, please like and subscribe so that when I go live in London, you'll see it. I mostly try to do stuff obviously in the streets of London or streets as a whole, but occasionally I do one of these ridiculous vertical type streams as well, just to get that sweet vertical what do you call it, shorts streaming viewers. I don't know. I don't even know if it works. Either way, I hope, pray, if you're a religious person, pray for the people of Israel, pray for the people of Iran. Let's get rid of this horrific regime. Let's bring our two countries together, our two peoples together. We share thousands of years of history together. We are intrinsically connected through history, through just people, through culture. And I want the people of Iran to simply be free and get along with the Israelis and get along with the Americans, get along with all the people that they actually genuinely like. I know people in Iran who absolutely love the West. They absolutely love the Americans, the British, the Israelis. They genuinely want to break bread. And I hope that one day in the future, Mr. Mossad, you're 100% invited, Lieutenant Timothy, anyone, come in a free Iran to the shores of the Caspian Sea, and I'll bring the caviar, you bring the vodka. Peace.
Hi! Where half is your weatherman? And have we got news for you? Let's get ready, all you lonely girls, and leave those umbrellas at home. Humidity is rising. Promise getting low. How low, girl? According to all sources. What sources now? The street's the place to go. Better hurry up. 'Cause tonight for the first time